script. I don't usually do that, but I really want as many people as, possible. I'm gonna wait till, oh, we'll see how it goes. I'm hopeful to get 20 people or so fairly quickly. We'll see. This is for entertainment purposes. Like, we're all just trying to have fun and laugh at the world as it burns here, and really not trying to make anybody feel bad about themselves. It's just that a lot of this rhetoric going around online, it's harmful in my opinion. It's harmful towards both genders. It's harmful for different reasons, and it offers no real working solutions towards the young men, mostly whom it targets. And there are other men that would agree with that. Other men, because I'm a man myself. I'm a red-pilled man here. I'm one of the men who built the world, and I'm here to let you in on some secrets that not everybody is going to tell you in the red pill community. Not everybody is going to be as open as me, but I'm going to wait until there's a few more people in here to start the script. But if you don't mind waiting with me, like it's going to be worth it, I promise. And this is one of a week's worth of costumes. So I'm really excited to share all of that with you guys. I really hope that you think so too. I think they're gonna get better with each costume. That's the way I'm trying, this was like the most playful kinda just threw this together. And I know it's probably gonna bring with it a lot of troll activity maybe, but that's gonna be part of the fun. We're gonna welcome that. Once I start my script though, I am going to be like strictly in it. But that's one unfortunate thing about the replay. People don't see the chat. I try to be mindful of reading off what I'm responding to, and sometimes I don't do that, but I promise I'm gonna try to be better about like if I'm going to say something to the chat, I try to read that chat. So, and I know that not that many people watch on the replay anyways. But yeah, maybe I should have made the title a little bit longer to get more, or I guess, well, this is interesting. I feel like after 2 minutes, I would have gotten more views as a woman. There we go with the gynocentric society. The gynocentric universe is proving itself once again to be true. Because I know what it's like to be a woman, there's no shame in admitting that. But here I am as a red-pilled man, and I wanted to wait until there was more people in here to start my script. Ellen DeGenerate, how are you? The mustache is giving 1907 Frenchman. Okay, grower, yay! I wanted to wait to start my script. I do have a fairly long script. So if any of you happen to stay and people are in the chat, like wanting my response to something, if you don't mind letting them know, like once I get through the script, I will give them the response. I just want to wait until a few people. Look, I got this at the arcade me and my son went to recently. It's one of those slap bracelets. Okay, we got 20 people. I'm going to start my script. This is a disclaimer. I'm going to let you in on all the secrets that most red pill men won't let you in on. I'm sorry, I can't imitate voices or I would try harder. I'm sorry. I'm not. I hope you enjoy the script though. This message is for all the women who think they don't need men. The ones who are under 30 and conventionally attractive, okay? Because they're the only ones who matter to me and therefore across the board to the whole world because it's a man's world, you see. And you have to I know everything. I'm going to hyper focus on the musings of chronically online women who are barely adults themselves with very little in real world experience, especially the ones walking down a sidewalk drunk late at night getting interviewed by other red pill men. Most of them who disrespect men do so because there was a lack of a father figure in their life, but it's still her fault because that's what you have to know. First, men built the world. Second, everything is women's fault because it's always a woman's fault. Everything. That's like all you need to know. Men work, build, and keep our infrastructure running. And anything that ever happens that's bad is a woman's fault. Um, Women being able to walk through the world with the choices we've always had to build whatever kind of life we want to, they're not supposed to be given those same human rights. Because when they do, they infiltrate and they cause the like I'm sorry, they cause all men to be disrespected by never acknowledging how important what they do to help all of society is by providing necessary labor that makes all of our conveniences possible from day to day. It's not the elite few who run most of the corporations who devalue men and their labor and cause monopolize industries, which causes the little fellas less likely to be able to be business owners themselves. It's not any of that. It's women's fault. And the red pill is here to make sure that you know that, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It has nothing to do with the elite oligarch, the classes that are obviously pitting themselves against each other. It's all women's fault. Um, I need to quit looking down so much. The height of the glorious Industrial Revolution was when it was the best, when not only did your hard-earned wage stretch farther, but women couldn't vote and you were allowed to slap them around. Like, that's the real glory days. That's what most red pill men won't straight up say, but that's what they mean when they say they want to go back to the day where DV was socially acceptable because they deserve it, because they do everything bad, you guys. Like, you need to understand this. Now they're out of control and they think men do nothing. More able-bodied men are out of work than able-bodied women. But because grandpa worked harder, we need to focus on grandma and grandpa. Grandpa did a lot. Therefore, we do everything. That's how it works. Get it? And even though we built this from the bottom up and are still in more crucial positions than any woman, we could topple it all just by stopping to offer our labor. Somehow, women have ruined everything. And it shows how evil they are, evil and dumb. You just want to live off of a man and take everything from him. Marriage benefits men in every way, economically, socially, physically, health wise. But we don't pay attention to those statistics in the red pill community. Don't pay attention to any statistics about marriage besides divorce rates and that women file for divorce 70 to 80% of the time. I think all women are weaker than all men because some men did do and do some hard jobs. And since agriculture began and communities started, we needed more infrastructure and more of that. Then come a bunch of men, men who have invented everything we will ever use. Never mind the oppression of women and how they were kept out of educational institutions and entire fields of study and work. It's still because they were so evil and bad. They did everything bad, and it's all their fault. It always was. Men created and pushed this, I'm sorry, men created and pushed the sexual, I'm just gonna say that word. I'm so tired of saying sexual. Men created and pushed the sexual revolution with their lust and greed, and it's women in destitute situations that play into it and are sex workers themselves. I mean, like, obviously it's their fault. They are the ones that want to be used by a pimp. And I don't know how, I've had a bunch of songs just pop into my head, so many good songs about demeaning women, so many great songs that we love to play that have everything to do with taking what we consider to be the lowest of the lowest, like the strippers and the sex workers, and using them because we are jealous. Some women can capital, we'll use that for entertainment, but we're still deep down jealous women can capitalize off of their bodies, off of their sexuality. There I go. Because of our lust and greed, they can make exorbitant amounts of money. How is that fair? Don't talk to your bros. Don't talk to your fellow man about how maybe you could change that. It's all women's fault. And we're focusing on the outliers here, okay? Like, we know most sex workers make little to no money, but we're going to focus on the ones that do, just like we do with divorce. Most women don't walk away with half of a lot of anything from divorce, but we focus on the outliers because we have to let everybody know the truth of modern woman. Not only are women inferior physically, but they're subpar mentally compared to men. I'll let you in on a red pill secret because since women are surpassing men in so many ways, this is why we have to latch on to the one thing that is true. It is true. Men have built this world and men keep it running. This is true. Remind them every chance you get. Men can do things they can't. Never mind. They create and give life. Never mind that. That has nothing to do with anything because we don't honor that. We don't value that. And that has nothing to do with how we got here in this predicament. Not at all. What else can we do to impede progress that threatens our giant yet infantile egos? Besides telling women that like they don't have anything really because they didn't earn it on their own merit. Because if they didn't have a man working hard jobs, working construction, we got to fight fire with fire, become what we hate, and say it with me. You don't need any woman because you don't. They may build every human body, and maybe men did work hard to progress all of society because they were motivated by their family they had at home. Kind of plays into those marriage statistics that we completely ignore. And it would paint a much better picture that would actually maybe lead to some productive understanding, if not actual solutions to certain problems. But to point out all the inequities in modern man's treatment is to focus solely on women and how they choose the same men on dating apps. It has nothing to do with corporations controlling employment, healthcare, housing, every aspect of your life, making it harder, squeezing blood out of a turnip. It has nothing to do with that. It's women and how much they swipe on dating apps. Times are hard and I'm angry. Women go after the same 10% of men. Like it's so difficult. All I want is a woman that's under 30 with 36, 26, 36 measurements. Like, is that too hard to ask? Know why women have to go after the same 10% of men. It's not like we like 10% or less of women. And even if we get with another woman that doesn't fall into that category, she's constantly going to be reminded that she isn't that. I mean, you know, can you believe women are doing what men have done for decades and are now judging us purely by what we can do for them and our looks instead of just purely by what we could do for them, which was already effed enough. And that was because of late stage capitalism, especially so. Once again, it's not a class issue, though. It can't be looked at as that. It's always a woman's fault. That's a key tenet. It's always a woman's fault. It's never anybody else's fault. They do nothing and everything at the same time. Don't you get it? My buddy Mike, has, on our break earlier today, he was talking about his wife, like he liked her. And I had to check him, like, buddy, do you know she wouldn't be half the woman that she is if we weren't here working really hard right now? Like, what the fuck? How can you talk? How can you say nice things about your wife, you simp? Fucking simp. I can't believe it. What kind of a man would be nice and talk and say nice things about his wife at work? So, I mean, this is like boots on the ground work. That's when it really counts, you know? We're not gonna go into what we could do to take back our energy and time in a important way. We're going to attack the people that have what we want, like lobsters in a bucket, try to bring them down with us because that's the only thing that makes us feel better in the short term moment. And that's the only thing that matters because delayed gratification is a thing of the past. This is easy. Or I'm sorry. Um, Even though, Mike, my buddy from work, he might be the one that I would benefit the most from listening to because he's actually building the kind of life that I do want the most. Even though, like, I'm still gonna go home and listen to the same echo chamber of Red Pill podcast because that's what soothes me once again in the short term. And we can't acknowledge anything else right now because what is the most detrimental are the industries. I'm sorry. Though what is the most detrimental are the industries not appreciating the energy, hard labor of so many because women do nothing. They still don't get it. They need to, everything would be better, even though nothing would really be better if more women just understood that women doing the same jobs as men suck at it. Like I've never worked in a factory or warehouse, and I've never seen that like at every single hourly job, there's the same exact workplace procedures, there's the same production numbers, regardless of what's between your legs. I'm still going to assume, like other people say online, that women always have the easy way out because once again, remember, we're just focusing on the women who are 30 years and younger and very attractive. They always have the easy route, right? They always get it easier. I'm so sick of it. And I know women aren't held to the same standards at all in any way, shape, or form as me and middle-aged men. I'm talking about the barely legal adults. Okay. After 30, toss them out with the trash. I wonder why all the women you date for decades aren't virgins. Oh my god, I feel like I'm looking down so much, but I think you all get the point. This is Red Pill's perspective if they were honest enough with themselves to say, and I didn't even go into like to what I think would really be see, I wanted to go from it from like the angle of somebody who was a progressive red pilled man at first and be like, women are so wonderful. Like, we did build the world, we built the world. But, like, isn't it amazing that we can build families with women and like to see a woman's body endure what it does? It's like, oh, wow, I'll take working 40 hours a week swinging a hammer, not to diminish any hard work, any hard labor. I know you guys literally break your backs, but women do too. There's women out there that break their backs doing all sorts of hard labor too. It's just like a lot of construction and logging, oil rigs. Sure, like the hardest of the hard labor is mostly men. And we all do need to appreciate that. And why I put it in my script, I think the women that don't appreciate it are these young, dumb. I'm sorry if you're young, youth is fleeting, you're great and awesome. You have the world at your fingertips. Please, I mean it. And like young, ignorant, I should say, young, ignorant, naive women who look right past everything because they're too materialistic. And it's like a filter. If a woman is so materialistic, she looks past a good man that works a good job with a good work ethic, earning a good living. Fuck her then. She's just not meant to be the one for you. And I'm sorry, I really don't believe like all women think all men should make six figures or more, especially as somebody that lived in the foothills of Appalachia, Kentucky. Most of us don't. Most people are like hustlers in the kind of way where both the people, the man and woman in the family, they each have different sources of income. And we need that now more than ever, right? But the whole point is like, it's just like, a- asinine like everything is women's fault even though we do nothing. We infiltrated all of society and toppled it from the inside out, but like we at the same time do nothing. And you know, people need to also realize the more women risk their lives bringing life to earth than men risk their lives doing hard jobs or going to war. It's just a fact, okay? And if that was a fact reversed, the same red pill men would say the same thing. They'd be like, okay, granted, like those sacrifices are very needed and like we can't really compare them, but that is like the ultimate sacrifice. And they do it for the betterment of the future. Like, do you not think that's what happens every time a woman lays down and gives birth? It's not just her legacy. Like, a lot of people think like parenting is selfish. It's mostly people who are child free, which is fine. You're going to say being a parent is selfish. It's one of the, like, you will make the most sacrifices being a parent, being a good one, at least, you know? If you're a selfish person, then you may be a selfish parent. Primo, if you're transitioning, just give us hints. Thank you, Gary. How are you doing, Gary? Hey, Mr. Carey, how are you? I said that to him. I was like, I wasn't trying to look like you. I don't think of course, he's way much more handsome than us, so it's the fertile woman, Diamond. Yes. Oh, Diamond, that's a good why didn't I bring up fertility? Duh. And here we are find out that it's actually male's sperm after the age of 30 that degrades, and women's eggs tend to not have the same genetic defects. Like we just have less of them the older we get, but our eggs stay better genetically. Have you guys heard that one lately? So all this like red pill rhetoric that we could just you can like wait until you're 35 to find your 20-year-old wife. That's also another like, I'm sorry. Ha- and they complain about the Chads. Meanwhile, they paint this picture of like guys like living life like a Chad, you know, only so many men can wait until they're ready at the age of 35 and then find a hot young thing that wants to settle down with him. Like, let's be real. It does happen. It happens all the time. I know it does, but like you know what I'm trying to say. That's not the norm across the board. And I don't understand how they think like ratios would work. Like all women are meant to be virgins, all women are meant to be married by the age of 25, but then men aren't going to marry until 35. Like, there's no logic. And as men, we're supposed to be more logical. We're the logical ones. We're the goofy ones that like balance us out with their abstract, you know, more emotional. I didn't put that in there because I know I say the same shit all the time about men, like violence and aggression being an emotion that's not often acknowledged because men commit over 90% of violence crimes. Like, who in their right mind asked someone, have you eaten someone like Jeffrey Dahmer is here? Fishing Queen. Oh, I don't know. How are you doing, Fishing Queen? Hubby is hiding in the garage. Okay. I wish we had a garage. Our first house had a nice garage, and I took it for granted. The garage was like half as big as the house. It was like a finished garage, and I really miss having that extra space, you know, to like do projects. And I'm on your side. I love women. I'm already on your side. I know you are, Gary. And I appreciate you guys being able to laugh with me because this is definitely not how I view most men. And I want anybody that's like new here to know this is all making fun of the fact that I've gotten quite a few people repeat the sentiment that men run the world and that it's happened a handful of times. If they wanted to, they could like pull out the rug from the rest of us. I even made a live about it one time. And I saw a shorts recently where this woman, pregnant, like big and pregnant, was remodeling her house. And she made a shorts about like the comments that she got from men, basically saying like she couldn't do it or like, okay, it was about I might be confusing stuff. It was like epoxying a garage floor and like, and then she said a year later it still looks great and brand new, like proving all these comments wrong, just basically saying like a woman couldn't do it. And then, she's showing herself big and pregnant doing these home renovations. And I made a comment. I was like, yeah, not to make it a competition like they always do, but like no man can do this. No man can renovate a house while building a literal human body. And that's not, I don't want to make it a competition. I just think what women do is so incredible and amazing. And the men that appreciate that, they get to live the most fulfilled lives. If what they want is to create a family and they work in a partnership with that woman to create that family. Um, thank you, Gigi. It's kind of annoying that I'm gonna be using this throughout the week. I'm gonna do a week of outfits, and this was like my goofiest one. The other ones are gonna be better, I promise, or I think so. Especially this one I'm so excited about. Well, I'm really excited about too. And I might wear one twice if I can't dig up one costume I'm trying to find. But this was just something I thought of kind of last minute. And I was like, oh gosh, it would be really easy to throw a script together because it's just like the same shit on repeat. It's the same few sentiments, once again, no working solutions for anybody involved, just pointing the finger at women. Like they say, women don't take any accountability, but they themselves take literal no accountability for anything in their own lives. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to know that literally everything is fault. Everything is your fault. And like that can be the most empowering way to live if you do it right. Because you can do whatever you want. And like if you don't love your life, I'm sincerely sorry. But the point is to get to the point where you are happy and fulfilled. And like even the mistakes and regrets you have about the past, like they won't be regrets because they led you to the place you are now. Is Anna in here? I don't know if I like missed her. I just wanted to see. Okay. If anybody, Primo, my name is Lydia. I didn't come up with a male name. Oh, Lewis. My name is Lewis because that's what my mom was going to name me if I was a boy. And though construction, logging, and a factory warehouse, I've never done any of these things. I'm still going to claim ownership with having built the world because a bunch of men that came before me did. But shame on women who think it's cool that, like, a lot of women, not cool, but you know what I mean? Look at the sacred sacrifice that so many of our ancestors made, bringing life to earth. An incredibly hard situations and then making sustaining that life through like we think it's hard now like when there's a formula shortage, which I really do feel for people, don't get me wrong. I formula fed one of my babies after 4 months old, so thank God for formula, we needed it, and I but like it in situations like famines and shit, what our ancestors went through. Like when you are getting ready to give birth, it was like, pretty scary and intimidating, especially if you've never done it before. But every time you have to do it, regardless, um, at least I can only speak for myself. You do call upon your ancestors, and you do find strength in what women have gone through before you. Feel like a chain of experiences. And I totally understand men doing that too. And I think that's a good thing, but not at the cost of women, not at making them seem superior and supreme as the gender, And like, I would never get to the point where I'm like, oh, women, like, I just, I mean, I do think of it like that. Women labor and birth, and like, we literally bleed 15% of our adult lives, most of us because of our ability to do that, whether or not we do. And we have to deal with the emotions and overcome. Yes, it is our lot in life to like and mature and not just like react and live in our emotional state as what so many not so great women do. And some people really are disabled in a mental kind of way and they can't help themselves as much. And like we can acknowledge like things that happen to both gender, like we're human beings. They have all these bad things happen to both genders. We're all suffering more, even though I say those things about women are doing better than men in certain ways. I still feel like most people are suffering a little bit more. But if you want to talk about men building the world, Like, it's like grabbing at straws when there's clearly a lack of men wanting to build the world. And I think about like architecture. I love old houses. When you see the time that used to be put into building homes, and I appreciate all you guys that build homes now. I know you can't help necessarily all the materials available and everything. Like, I'm not trying to down house builders. Jay Hardy builds houses. If he was to see this, it's not like, oh, like, it's just the way it is. We've cut all the old timber. The old timber is what really is strong. So the newer wood, like even the best quality workmanship, it's just like the quality of the wood isn't what it used to be. And like just the ornate craftsmanship and workmanship and like these, and I feel like you could say that about like literally everything, and it's the elite oligarchs bleeding us dry, sucking everything out of us, and, like, that makes the whole society worse for all of us because there's gonna be less innovation, less creation, because we're all in survival mode, just barely surviving, clinging, and, um yeah. So I feel very passionately about the fact that there seems to be a movement, and I think it's by the powers that shouldn't be, whatever they are, I don't know for sure, that like wants to take angry men because they know the energy of men and men of all ages, but like especially younger men, to start them off on the wrong foot, to make them so nihilistic, to set them up for failure, to make them addicted to the dopamine rush that they get from seeing other men talk shit about women. Like that is part of the divide and conquer. I feel that with all my heart. They want to convince men to hate women. And in my opinion, as a 38-year-old woman, I think most women do appreciate the hard work of men who work hard. Like I mean that. I think most women think it's sexy. Most women love that. And like I said earlier, the women that don't, the women that think that even though they make 30, $40,000 a year, they deserve a high figure, six-figure earner, and like six figures isn't even what it used to be, especially in a city. Don't I know that, but like around here it is. Around here it's still a pretty penny. But like um there's still plenty of women. It's just clear, in my opinion, a lot of the like these guys have a certain type, and their type is the materialistic, attention seeking woman. And that is one big root of the problem. Ellen DeGenerate, you're still in here. Or maybe you came back. I don't know, but thanks. I'm higher than a giraffe's vagina on edibles. I can see the viewers agreeing with her, but can anyone explain the context? Oh, Ellen, this is some just a common sentiment. Somebody said it to me once, and then I talked about it a few times. It's happened a few times just spontaneously where I am mentioning something. A lot of it comes back to men versus women. I was talking about automation and manufacturing, and somehow it got into like men versus women. It's like it's obvious these men that say women don't do any jobs, or if they do, they literally get to just sit there. Like, could you imagine? I wish that's how it was. Honestly, my life would have been a lot easier if I had a strong, big, able male body. I would have made more money. Easier. And I understand you're working yourselves. It's just like the people I know in my life that work really hard, they either work their brain and like stress out over their office, their whatever they've got going on, because they do work hard. There's people that work so hard, they give themselves heart attacks and strokes, even though they sit at a desk all day, and that work is important and needed too. Oh my gosh, we all need each other so badly. So to make it about like who needs that when it's like I'm sorry, it's just a little silly. We literally give birth, like the chicken or the egg, like we are the reasons why any of this can exist. If you're going to talk about, we need you. Do you hear my dog? Are us men getting better? Gary, I think some men are. I think that like men and women are both evolving. But when it comes to, like, catching up socially, like, I honestly really didn't think that this many men were misogynistic until the last, like, 3 years. When I started to see the women shouldn't be able to vote crap, and I was like, "Oh, okay, people can't really think this." And then I saw, like, p actual, like, politicians, big pundits like Charlie Kirk, like, people I respected saying that women shouldn't be able to vote. Like, it still floors me in a certain manner. I can't explain it. It's just like I think of men as human beings. I think of us all as human beings, and it just floors me that so many men think of me as a less human being, a lesser human being than them. And that's one reason why I'm, you know, and I do, I'm not just saying this, I do think that things are better in Kentucky. I'm a month member because of a gifted membership. Mr. Carey, that's so cool. Thanks for posting that. Barry, I got so upset because places I am not a mod, it makes me invisible altogether like this over a month or more. Oh no, what's going on, Mr. Carey? Thank you for posting my buy me a coffee, Mr. Carey. You're so great. That sucks. You're just being like shadow banned on YouTube, low key or something. Amen. We need each other, Gary said. Yes. And that is the point I really hope I drive home. It's like, yeah, I am like making fun, but I hope like it's, I know I'm not the only woman and men. I know there's men out there that are sick of this shit. Like the teacher in Georgia high school who was saying that the biggest mistake we ever made as society was educating women. The person who exposed him was a male. Like, that is so great. That what a great example of leadership, you know? Because leadership isn't just shitting on people and keeping them under your thumb like a lot of people think it is. Leadership is really acknowledging the needs of the people around you and doing something about it and guiding them and being a good example for them and everything they should be doing. I do believe that there's just personality types that tend to be, you know, in more leadership roles. And it's not just like you shouldn't put it all on every man to be that kind of person either, you know, to be a leader. Like I just don't think that it was ever supposed you never see much more of a leader than I shouldn't say that. There's also a lot to be said about the way women can lead their gaggle of kids. Like, was that not a leader too? When a woman takes her children out and like whether she has one, two, three, she's leading those people. And like most women mother children, we lead a lot. We lead the future of society into their future. Like, come on. And I know dads are so important. And that's another, I didn't bring up I could do one of these for like so many different subjects. I could do one about divorce, one about like single dads versus single moms, because they always want to harp on how single dads have better outcomes than single moms. That's because of very few single dads there are. Like, let's be real. Like, when it comes to single parent households, like 80, 90% of them are women, right? And the ones that are fathers tend to be very well off financially. They have a much better support system. It's just hard to compare that. It's really not a fair comparison when you're considering literally 80 to 90% of the single parents are one gender, and then you're trying to say, oh, but look, this 10% of the time, like they tend to have better outcomes. But anyways, I think most people that look into it and research it would agree. Like, ideally, the child comes from a stable home. A lot of people are going to say two-parent home. And like, I was happy when my parents got divorced. Me and my sister were sincerely happy. There are situations where it is so toxic. It's just better. But then prison stints and false allegations. Who are we talking about, straight shooter? That's funny. I don't even know what's going on. It's still funny to me. What's misogynists? Misogynists is what I said. And that's, the hate of women. And women are misogynistic too. And then misandrist is what is considered like just the hate of men. It's like being a racist only towards a gender. And my definition of racism is you look at somebody and you think anything differently about them because of the color of their skin. It's like, you look at somebody, you think anything differently about them because they're a woman, like they shouldn't be able to vote, like they're weaker than you, like they're, dumber than you, like they're more incapable than you of everything, like they wouldn't have literally anything in their life because they've never worked hard for anything. Um, that's misogyny. I know there's a lot of like radical feminist type women that hate men and look at men and hate all men for no reason. In my opinion, there's less of those. And the women that do that don't make it all of society's problem that they don't like men. Like we get mass unalivers and people that write manifestos and whatnot when it comes to men. A their body, their choice bumper sticker would be cool, straight shooter. I think you're confusing sexism with misogyny. Very well, the 2 kinda go hand in hand, but you are right, McKnucker or I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Misogyny is what would you consider misogyny, Barry? But, like, the deep-rooted hate of women? Um, I really want to know I'm not just saying that, like Diamond, how are you doing? I wish my parents would have divorced. They don't need to be together. My parents shouldn't have had children. I'm so sorry to hear that, Diamond. That's so sad. And see, there's an example of somebody that like statistically, you might say, and then I wonder, like, where do they get these statistics from? I know I have to fill out some forms for my kids' school that like talks about how many people are in the house and stuff, and I guess then they look at their grades, like, I don't even know, but, I know, like, the kids that graduate high school, go to college, like, those are some of the parameters. My mama raised 3 very rambunctious boys alone. Okay, aw. I hope you had a good childhood, Okie. I want a woman who's smarter than me, I need all the help I can get. That's smart. Like, we should all think, like that, or, I guess a lot of people probably might not wanna be with somebody that's necessarily smarter than them, necessarily, but, like, I think most of us could learn something from the other person, and it is always nice to, like, admire, and I've said this before, like, my husband, I look up to him for I don't wanna, like, talk too much personal stuff, but, like, oh, no, I forgot about my mustache. Some of our, like, his hobbies and talents, it's always nice to be with somebody you admire, right? Is it smeared? Oh, no. I'm wiping it off. I guess you guys can tell that. Is that better, Mr. Carey? Did that I thought I was a little fuzzy too. Usually I usually I clean my phone. Honestly, I didn't do it. I didn't even think about it. I went to Bernheim Forest today. I uploaded a shorts with some of it. It was so nice. I don't know. I think it's still going to be like 2 or 3 days till it's like really peaked. But it's also weird. It's like some places it's like half the leaves have fallen off and there's hardly any color change. And then other places there's like still a lot of leaves and a lot more color change. I'm gonna blame it on the wonky weather, right? I understand what you're saying, Gary. I feel the same way. Diamond said, "Oh, I know who he is now. It's Tom Green." Are you talking about me? That's funny, Diamond. I like that. This is the Tom Green Show. It's not the Green Tom Show. It is my favorite show. Is that how I went? Because it is my show. I hope that I helped my camera lens. Well, I thought that script would take me a lot longer. I was, like, looking down reading it, that's probably why I went through it so fast. It was, like, 6 pages of notes. Mm. I'm so excited about, um I'm so excited about I don't know exactly what my outfit's gonna be tomorrow. See, I'm trying to, like, build them up. I don't know, maybe I'll do, like, one of my favorite ones tomorrow, and then I have, like, a few cutesy ones. I have no idea what the subjects are gonna be, but I know I should be doing, like, Halloween, creepy stories. Last year, we went to this haunted corn maze. We drove quite a ways to get to it, as I was all excited about it. Took one of my sons and his girlfriend there, and it was awful, and, like, the people chasing us, and, like, they were grabbing us, like, you're not supposed to get I thought those haunted attraction people knew better than to do that. I didn't think they did that anymore. That sucked. Um, love Elvira. Yeah, Diamond, it I guess I could always wear a padded bra, but, like, that's Oh, Morticia. I don't know, Elvira is just like Morticia is basically the same thing, I know, but I feel like it's less revealing, like, Elvira is, like, really low cut, right? I just, like, go all out and get some silicone Yeah, they shouldn't be groping people, yeah, and they, like, ran their fingers through my hair, one of them, oh, that was so we went to a really cool haunted house in French Lick, Indiana, it's, like, in a historical mansion, and they were really appropriate there, they were awesome. That was my older son's first experience at a haunted house, like, they didn't real it was so precious, they didn't realize how scary it was gonna be, and I remember, like, feeling I think they were, like, 8 and 11, you know? Um But yeah, French Lick, Indiana is a really fun place if you're in, it's like central, South Central Indiana. We want belly button cleavage low cut. Oh my gosh. Oh, geez Louise. I mean, I shouldn't say that. You can wear whatever you want with whatever size chest, you know? I shouldn't even like that's what I would like to promote. Like you can do whatever you want, but it's like in my head that because I don't have quite the hourglass figure of Elvira, I can't be her. You know what I mean? But I know my long dark hair, it would be easy to do Morticia or that. You know, I'm thinking about changing my last name to Adams because my maiden last name is Adams. Oh, that's cool, Diamond. Aw. Whips and chains, Mr. Carey said. Aw, that smile is why I make these silly jokes, y'all. Okay, you're so sweet. I love you. But, I love Jessica Rabbit, favorite 80s female character. Oh, yeah. I love red hair. I have always had a thing for red hair. Oh my gosh. Like, do you have naturally red hair, Diamond? Are you like a natural redhead? I'm thinking your hair has a lot of red in it, right? Oh, okay. I love you. It makes me so happy that we can get on here and laugh together. I promise. I think, you know, I'm gonna do Halloween themed. It'll be more fun. Saw a Theo Von clip today. Said in Pikeville, Kentucky, a guy is missing 70% of his skull, put his thumb in his mouth and blew, and his head bulged out. Oh my gosh. So he's like functioning. Yeah, I guess your skull, it's not his brain. Before I was injured, I met this redhead, and oh, sorry, serious chat here, Mr. Carey. Everything I say keeps getting deleted. I can't say a thing. Okay, I'm gonna look in the chat history for you, Barry. Channel activity. Sexism equals superiority. Is that what got deleted? I think you're confusing sexism with misogyny. Everything I say keeps getting deleted. Those are the three comments that just showed up on my end. Um, but yeah, so sexism is just like the thing I explained, like thinking less of the other gender, but you're saying misogyny comes with it, like the superiority. I think you're right, and that is a good point. You don't just think less of somebody, like it's like a supremacist type vibe. And thank you for adding that, Barry. I think you've been in here before and added a lot to the conversation. I really appreciate that because I definitely don't think I'm the smartest person. I just think I like have no filter, and like I was sent here to help people that have been on the same path as me, and like that, and includes a whole lot of stuff, like a lot of health things, you know, wanting to homestead and have small livestock or what have you. But like, um, I also know I'm not the only person that's just like tired of this divide and conquer with the genders. I used to always have strawberry blonde hair when I was younger. Haven't dyed my hair since about 2014 or maybe before that. That's so awesome. Oh, don't be sorry. No, if you ever like, please don't think if you do happen to miss something I ask you, like I would never think anything of that. I appreciate all you guys. You are the smartest person. Stop it, Boston. We aren't even getting message reviews from Barry. Yeah, I've said a lot more, but it gets deleted. I don't know what to say, or else if you have another account to try it, but you really, I don't have any blocked words. You know what I mean? Like, there's no words I've made that are blocked on my end, so I have no idea what's going on. If it's anything at all, even the word abuse, like put spaces in between the letters, like anything negative, MURDER, like put spaces between it. Um, well, I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say now, and I wish I could hear it all. And I don't want people to be discouraged from talking because their messages don't go through. It's like it just happens. Some people say that, and it's like, Barry, you drinking? Maybe you're forgetting to hit send. Okay, send. I I think has this happened before to you, Barry? It's important to hear different perspectives, especially ones you disagree with. Doesn't mean we shouldn't respect each other. Definitely, Barry. I'm sorry if I came off as disrespectful. This is just for immature people that would say, I'm going to show that one because it's funny. Thanks, William. that in what I see it as is like it's not to bring them down, it's to try to break the cycle of how they bring other men down. The men that tell other men that literally all the ills in the world is like all women's fault, and that feminism, meaning women getting rights, is the root cause of all the suffering of society right now instead of late stage capitalism. And I'm not saying that there aren't bad women out there, and there aren't bad implications that have came from the last few decades, especially since we got the internet and social media. And women have been, a lot of women have been ruined by social media, the dopamine rushes they get from the likes on their pictures, the attention they get, and they see that's a problem. And uh, but I don't see women saying things, and I'm sure it's been said, but not it's not a commonplace thing for women to say, "We could just stop having babies and pull the rug out from them, and then they'd have nothing," you know? Like, uh, and that never would happen. There's always gonna be people that want that. I'm dressing like Elvira Carey. Frosty put some words in, I'm not sure what. Frosty did. Well, okay. I need to check that. Now I'm concerned that might be what's going on, you know? I wanted to put in my maiden name, but then, like, you know, the mods will be able to see it. I'm not modding as much no more, just listening only when I can catch it something harmful against YouTube standards. That's fine, Diamond. I appreciate you listening. Julio message and I can fix it. I built the whole world. Fix this ring light. It's nothing. I've done literally everything ever. I've been having troubles with other YouTubers the past month and a half. I don't even want to block them because of chat history. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that, Diamond. What happened to the sound? Oh no. Is my sound bad? Can you guys hear me? Boston, why'd you say that? Confirm you can hear me. I'll put my other earbud in. Make up a last name. No, I'm saying I wanted to put it on the blocked list. That way, if some creeper from my past came in, shoo, okay, no, I really did, like, pop this off of here. I thought I just had to twist it back on, and try to dox me, you know what I mean? Uh, there's I can do it, I'm a man. I do everything. Women do nothing. Channel the energy of all men who do everything. Damn it. Okay, whatever. This is probably what I should have done anyways, to have it like this, like I usually do. Um, and then I didn't re-comment. Okay, what I do, Barry, when I comment, I make a comment, then flip to another live and come back to make sure my comment stayed. That sucks. You have to do that, Mr. Carey. Women rock would suck to live in a sausage fest world. I agree. And like when women talk about like building community with just other women, it does sound lovely in the motherhood aspect, like to have that kind of community. And I think that's something that would be great. Like more women stayed at home because they wanted to and they could. And then you have that community of women that are home during the day that can help each other raise their children and every, you know, that would be a dream come true for a lot of us women, but it's just not the reality. And a lot of women will say that, you know, like it would be the perfect world to have nothing but women. I saw this thing where it's like something about they can make an egg or they can make sperm or they can make, I don't know, from like marrow, but it can only be a female fetus. And I don't, I know that's probably like something people are just talking about, but it was like a feminist, you know, what I would consider a radical feminist, because I don't consider all of feminism a bad thing. I am very grateful for feminism. I am grateful that I can go get a job when I need to re-enter the workforce. I don't have to depend on my husband, even though it's great that he's been there so much and I can depend on him. It's a scary thought to be so vulnerable. Really put yourself in the position of depending on one person your entire life, not even having the opportunity to depend on yourself. And like I've said before, it feels good to make money. I think women are better people when they like, you know, have like worked a job, whether or not they stay at home with their kids. It's just like the aspect of making money to look at women as less than and consider them to be like too juvenile and immature. But at the same time, it's like they want them to be immature and incapable and unable. They want them to have less abilities. And I know it sounds dramatic. It's scary, guys. That is scary. I do so much talking with my sons about this because, like, I am determined to send good men out into the world that, like, will help combat this. Like, what can you do, you know? I feel disrespected, but your perspective is kind of interesting. Barry, Barry, I'm sorry if you feel disrespected because why I titled this Red Pilled Man was because I was not at all like I was about to say man who built the world, and then I was like, no, I don't want to come off as like I'm talking about all men who work hard because the whole point is I think that hard labor, I've worked in factory and warehouses myself, and my husband's worked hard jobs for years now into his 40s. Hard labor is so undervalued and underappreciated, but I don't think it's women. If you're gonna say like people don't appreciate things and they're lazy, and like I think the same could be said about men and women. There's just bad people out there that don't appreciate how we do live like kings used to. But at the same time, like we should be living like the Jetsons, really. I was almost doxxed in the drunk tank when I was younger. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so old school. Yeah, that is nuts causes it does mean like that. It's aggravating. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound romanticized, Diamond said. Okay, well, a world full of women would be drama, drama, drama. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're right. No, you're right. I mean, if you were very like-minded and lived off the land and had your own space, I think it could be lovely, but not every woman's gonna be like me. But there was a reality show where they took a group of 12-year-old the girls and then 12-year-old boys. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And the 12-year-old boys, it was like they went through all the food, they destroyed the house, they, like, couldn't make it through the time period that they were supposed to. Basically, it was like Lord of the Flies, if you don't know what that book is, and these kids get stuck on a like, deserted island, and it kinda goes crazy real quick. Um, the girls, they were, like, baking cookies, like, braiding each other's hair, like, cleaning, doing the chores, and I just thought that was so funny. But I do think it's all by grand design. I am not sitting here saying women are so much better than men. I think that young girls mature faster than their male counterparts for good reason. That's just the way it is, you know? And then I think it like levels itself out more, especially now with all the abilities we have. Like men definitely want to do better. I think most men are just like most women and like they would rather like figure themselves out like, you know what I mean? Like not about finding yourself, but like have a better, easier life. And other people out, especially people of the opposite sex. I think there's a lot of men that strive to do that. They're not just horrible people that want to get laid like so many women think. And it's the same thing as I think a lot of these guys that focus on the same things, they're also focusing on the same kind of woman that's not good for them or any man. And a lot of the women that talk shit about men, they're talking shit about, they just want the bad boys and they're not giving any good guy a chance. And that's a big part of the problem. You guys, you have a squirrel on your I have to doxing is part of the issues that you're having, Diamond. Doxing is part of the issues with what you're having. I hate to hear that. I need to take a potty break, guys. I really hate doing this. Also, other big channels are taking low view hits lately. Yes, I saw that, Mr. Carey, like the algorithm. There's a channel with people crocheting corn mess was complaining that their views were low, but they are corny. Okay, I'm trying to picture a house built by only women. There is a tribe, and there's a tribe in Africa where the women do build the houses, and they're all like 5 feet tall, and like the men are tall. They're like especially tall, you know what I mean? And it's funny, this is a legit thing. I know it's not common at all, but like, yeah, they build their huts, and I think it would be fun if I didn't have 3 hernias. I'll be right back. Okay, I saw I missed a Barry comment. I want to catch his. I thought I missed a Barry comment. I was scrolling through. It's important to hear different perspectives, especially ones you disagree with. Doesn't mean we should. I already read that one from earlier. I guess that's all it was. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and so it, I mean, so this is how I look at it, and I know this is kind of rude, but it's just the way I feel after so much interaction with the people with this mentality, and I don't want to like paint a broad stroke like they do with women and make a monolith out of all men or even a group of men that think a few of the same things. Like I am going to assume the rest of their thought patterns because I know that's not fair. But if somebody is the kind of person I'm talking about and kind of person that thinks like I shouldn't be able to vote, women are less than men, and like instead of looking at us as yin and yang and complementary of each other, you think that like women should be oppressed under men's thumbs and have less rights. With all due respect, I don't care what you think. That's just how I feel about it. So whoever I am disrespecting by saying that the people who think that like women have done nothing to help propel society forward, um, while men have done literally all the hard work, negating what being pregnant, giving birth, and raising children entails. That's kind of the point. It's like there really needs to be a part two. What the fuck even is that? Hey, Jay. And one of the safe places they put 99 men to one woman and 99 women to one man. That sounds interesting. Well, Agadir, I am a red-pilled man tonight. I'm here to let everybody know, um, basically the same thing all other red-pilled people say. But if you want, you can look at like the first 10 minutes. It wasn't that great or funny. I was trying to be funnier and I was even like gonna like read the PIMP and then start singing I don't know what you heard about me. And I was like, I don't feel like that. I was like reading my script and like and it's just really interesting to me. And I don't like it either. All these things that red pill people complain about, sex workers, pornography, I think it's all detrimental, a sign of the end of times, and absolutely horrible for everybody involved. But like, I still wouldn't. I don't see the young women participating in it as demons that caused all of it. If you made, oh my gosh, that's so funny. If you made it a unibrow, you would look like Groucho Marx. Acid burn. I told my husband when I put the eyebrows on, I was like, I feel like Charlie Chaplin. Oh, I forgot this channel. You are not a no, SJN. I do have a big nose, and yes, I've had plenty of people. She's a really hot dude. Okay, thanks. Man, you triggered the whole chat at the beginning was epic. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, I figured I was going to be inviting a lot of like haters. But even if they don't listen for long, like I hope that one person, just one person that is like, "You know what? She was kind of right. Like this is a little silly. Like what exactly do they expect from women?" And I'm sorry, this is my opinion. I know I'm strongly opinionated. You don't have to agree with me. I really do think I'm so right about what they're thinking. Like they know a lot of women respect them. And it's like I know as a blue collar worker myself, like it's the not all people with money, but it's a lot of it's classism. And that's who doesn't respect us is blue collar workers. And like they feel all this, they know they're not paid enough. And then things are harder for them socially and with dating and whatnot. And it turns into it's all women's fault because it's so easy to try to find a scapegoat when it's actually to really do what the red pill, which was formed from the movie The Matrix, was supposed to do is help teach people how their reality is not what they think it is. And if men and that claim to be red pilled really would take that and run with it, they would. possibly have better lives and better relationships with the opposite sex. But instead of, you have a creative way of getting a point across. Thank you, Oki. I could never hate you or any other women. It's a good thing not to hate anybody, right? Even the men that I say I don't respect what you think about me, I still don't hate them. I still hope that they come around one day. And I still look at them basically as little innocent babies that didn't ask to be here any more than I did, at least that we know of. Like, of course, I think while we're here, whether or not you're in a relationship your whole freaking life, we're supposed to love each other. And if these people that want to make it a competition, get me wrong, but like I just did myself wrong. There is this roof guy I follow. I'm like, I don't like these guys. They don't have the hard jobs themselves. But there is this one guy that's like, he's really shooting himself in the foot because it's like you are a walking battery. Whatever you want, whatever, and it's not about like focusing on it and spinning your wheels on it. It's about like setting a goal and working towards it, but like letting go and not thinking about it constantly is part of that. And the most driven people, the guys that do get the most women, like that shouldn't be everybody's goal. I think that's a sick goal to have, but those men, like they are so driven and ambitious and tend to have like so much going on, and that's one reason why women, like men are the same way. Like you want somebody that is a little hard to get, right? Wonder if it is raining where she is. Um, is my sound bad? Um, wow, young Tom Green and also Tony. Who's that? Tony Hincliffe? I don't know who that is. Every girl is a true boss of all men except me. I drove girls crazy. There's this shorts I have on my community post where it's like Athenian queen was like talking to a Spartan woman, and she said, "You're the only women who rule their men." Like, oh, that's so stupid. And then the Spartan queen said, "Yeah, because we're the only women who give birth to men." And I don't like that is so great and powerful in so many ways because one of the most masculine things you can do is not to lord over people with your physical strength and to impose on them and to oppress them with it. It's to lead gently and strongly and be there for people and them know that you got their back because you are the big, strong, able-bodied one. And like it's that protection, that security that women want from men. So if you are seeking a relationship with a woman, to come off as that like oppressive, like you're only here because we let you come here. Like I don't see how anybody that thinks that way can't understand. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Oh wait, you can't because you're misogynistic. You like don't even look at women as human, so you couldn't put yourself in our shoes. No, that's like it's not about gender roles in marriage. You do unto others. Do I'm asking this of my spouse. Do I do it for them? You know? And that's, happy spouse, happy house. It goes both ways. It's not like and I understand I was buffering. I would be happy with one woman. Yeah, Gary, I know you're a gentleman of an older age. Would you say that when you were younger, you would have, because this is another thing, it's like so many points to touch upon. They say less things than I have points to touch upon. I don't know how that's possible. But with the red pill movement, people saying that they like men now statistics, some big poll was like more men in their 20s want to have babies than women in their 20s want to have babies. It's so funny to me because my whole life was men avoiding settling down and having babies. And now it's like these people online seem to say that people can't wait to settle down and have babies and that like men can't wait to provide for a woman for their whole lives. Like that is not the impression I got at all the last 20 years of adulthood. Yeah, acid burn, I tried to. I'm sorry, guys. I will make sure it's cleaned off for tomorrow. I already did that because Mr. Carey told me. I'm wiping it as hard as I can because I'm a strong man who built the world. Is that any better? What I need to do is take my screen protector off. I've had the same screen protector on for a while and I'd use that air gun at work and it got stuff like up underneath it and I need to just replace it. It's not that bad. Thank you, Diamond. I mean, if blowing Joe Rogan makes you, then yeah, who are we talking about? Tony, that Tony guy. Theophilus said, "Hey, Gary, did you see that Jack Morgan got demonetized?" Yeah, Diamond. He said it was because he changed some tax paperwork, so it should be reinstated in a month, but that really sucks. He lost like over a month's worth of pay. That's awful. I felt really bad for him when I saw that, and he's still putting out content. He's a guy like that, you know. I know it's for the betterment of his channel too, but you know, I don't think a lot of people would be putting out the content as much as he is being demonetized for a month. Happy nanny smack that fanny. Kidding only, Mr. Carey. Yeah, it's funny. You guys, like, I'm sure, like, a lot of, I'm not the only one. Like, the sexy Halloween costumes. I'm so tired of how, like, and I do think there's a lot of like cutesy ones. Like, I saw this one chick made a Princess Leia costume. It was like a short skirt with like, it was like poofing out. It was so cute. And like, I can appreciate a costume, being made a little like cutesy, sexy, or whatever. But like every single one, and it does seem like they've, like, reined it in a little bit when I was at the Halloween store, but everything costs an arm and a leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just remember a few years ago, it was, like, Jasmine with, like, this little tiny and it's cold, not as much anymore, but, like, often it'd be so cold, and it's, like, just the skimpiest outfits, every other one. Oh, Acid Burn sent 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Acid Burn. You're so great about the membership gifting. Oh my god, I bet you would crush a Catwoman outfit. Okay, Grower. It's not that, but I have something fairly in the same family. I'm gonna shut up. But yeah, um, actually I have 2 costumes. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Just keep watching. Now I am probably gonna do 2 lives on Monday. I want to do like the members only, and then I want to do a regular one. And I know it's a little lofty. A lot of them may be very chit-chatty, but like hang in there with me. I need to start reading from my she book. I could do that in one of my costumes. Actually, one of them I want to try really hard to do it outside. But anyways, I haven't. You have a great body, anybody suit would break YouTube. Oh, okay. Um, I haven't dressed up for Halloween at all except for, like, one time with girlfriends. This was, like, 10, 11 years ago, and it was, like, I just tried to look like, I don't what would you call it? It wasn't a biker I guess it was a biker girl. It was just, like, a leather jacket and red lipstick, like, it was, you know, I don't know what you would call that. I wasn't trying to look like one of the teeny boppers with, like, the poodle skirts. But anyways, that was, like, not an outfit either, you know what I mean? That wasn't really a costume. So it's fun, you guys are, like, giving me a reason to do, like, fun stuff and get out of my comfort zone in a fun way. Cause like, I always felt a little conceited, and I spent, like, $50 on everything, um, for, like, 5 costumes. I think that's really good, but you'll see. I mean, a lot of them are gonna be, like, implementing a lot of stuff from home too, but I'm so excited. And then I was thinking about how I can rock a bra. Ask Lydia and Yoder. Yeah, Mr. Carey can. It's so nice to, be able to hang out with you guys and have a YouTube live. And I would be embarrassed. If my YouTube channel took off when I first started, I don't think I would put myself out there like this. I'd like worry too much. Like I really don't want to make anybody feel bad. But like I really hope that if I did make somebody feel bad about what I say about men, they can listen to me long enough to see that like the whole point is it feels bad as a woman to be looked down on and never given credit for anything because of this attitude that like no woman ever really earns anything, and that's what it comes down to. I'm all about giving kudos to men that have worked hard jobs. When you see those pictures of the men like eating lunch on the skyscraper beams, like we've all been in awe of the hard work and labor of men, and like we should be. And we should appreciate that. And I've said so many things. I think a lot of these red pill guys don't even realize for themselves that like plumbers have saved more lives than doctors, in my opinion. Plumbers are responsible for keeping us all safe and our home sanitary. It is so important. It has stopped so many outbreaks of communicable diseases, and they want to, attribute that to certain man-made inventions that aren't one size fits all and are temporary at best. Most of them, the vast majority of most of them, don't even last a lifetime, but we act like they do. Like, you're a plumber, oh my gosh, electrician, tradesmen are so important. When our power goes out, the conditions that linemen put themselves in to get it back on, like, I think most people I was raised to respect everybody, to respect the trash man, because for some reason that was like the stereotype back then, it's like you treat the trash man the same way you treat your principal at school. Everybody deserves the same amount of respect. We're all human beings. And it's gotten to this weird. I do believe in the patriarchy. I do believe that there is a hierarchy, also known as a patriarchy. And what it really is not men above women. It's like the elite oligarchy, the elite class that is the mostly white men, but not all, above the rest of us. And we're all victims to it, men and women alike. And if we could work together and see past the divide and conquer and see that, like, we are on the same team. We need each other so bad. Just because I can't open the jar of pickles as easily as you can doesn't mean I have nothing to offer. Gosh, she would rock a succubus warlock's costume from the World of Warcraft game. I have no idea what that is. Bet no one knows what I'm talking about is the next thing you said. So funny. I'm like really old school. Like I have hardly played any new games. I really like 2D games and like yeah. I do have fun playing like the zombie games when we're at the arcade. Also the female character from the Labyrinth movie with David Bowie. Oh, I think I do know what you're talking about with that. Diamond. Fun stuff. Lydia, turn your hat upside down. How do I do that? You mean I'm so dumb. I have my hair in French braids. You mean like flip it with the I'm like spatially unaware. We have to settle this once and for all. Ain't it, Diamond? What do you want me to do that for, Boston? I don't get it. That's only Muslims, men. Oh, acid burn, I'm already lost. I don't know what you're saying that in regards to. What is the red pill? Okay, Okie Grower started as an online movement. It was like, it started is like, I think it was women too, but I guess mostly men probably. That was like using the analogy from the movie The Matrix. Like we need to wake up to the reality that like everything is simulated in a certain kind of way, meaning your life isn't yours. And like once you take the red pill, you can make changes and like Google, when you look up red pill, the definition, okay, I haven't looked it up in a few months, but it used to be, and I have this in a shorts on my channel. It would say the red pill used to refer to, because that's what it used to be, kind of like, like the government simulates our reality type stuff, like the movie The Matrix. And it doesn't go into what it is now on Google, but it turned into, oh, some of the most popular podcasts of the last several years. Misogyny, men saying that women are less than men, and a lot of the same complaints. And the women not being able to vote, that's when I really saw it seeping into other parts other than the like, people call them incels. I try to avoid that word because I really do, like, as much as I said, "If you don't respect me, I don't respect you," I still have a soft spot in my heart for anybody that feels lonely and helpless. Hopeless, I think one of the worst things to feel, as a human, well, grief, I think, but to feel very hopeless, and I don't want to attribute to anybody feeling hopeless. Um, yeah, I just think that's awful. Don't you all remember when the Kentucky Wildcats used to make uh peas out of the cat's tongue? I don't know what you're talking about, Diamond. We'll see about that, Diamond. I think you are on psychedelics. Oh gosh, what am I missing in here? Bertha. Oh, they aren't in here. David Bowie was awesome in that movie, Oki said. Gary said men should man up. Yeah, I think the men who are, like, good men really do, like, make up for so much, and then it's like, the women who are good women get overlooked. I mean, that's really generalizing, but, it's like, we are allowed to age. A man is, like, as long as he has a good work ethic and he remains steadfast and certain ambitions, he's going to be respected no matter what his age. And it's like we're literally not allowed to age as women, and that ageism, and we do it to each other. I'm not just saying. If anything, I think women are worse to each other than men are about vanity and looks. Like I know men do, they do it, but I just think like once a man loves you and he's like a kind of man to date within his age range and be attracted to women that are age appropriate, he's less likely to judge you for your looks and your fine lines and your forehead and stuff than a woman that's going to like view you as competition for some silly reason. Search what YouTube Bulls logo conspiracy. Oh, okay. Okay. So it was like, you guys just want to see it upside down. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm like having difficulty facing it upside down. So what's going on with it? I never heard about this. I've been a Bulls fan since Jordan and Pippen. It does look like a rabbit. I don't know what's going on, but I will look that up. I think looks like a chief reading a cookbook. Oh my gosh. Do you want to see it again? I see. This is the rabbit. This is the rabbit's eyes, and these are its little ears. Do you see it now, Oki? See, there's the rabbit. That's funny. Where the hell you been getting this information? I've not heard anything. You're talking about women are awesome, and that should be it. Well, Acid Burn, you're in the right places on the internet. Because, like I said, it was like on chronically online people, and I felt like it was like them in their own corners like 7 years ago. But in the last few years, it's like um, people bringing up, the divorce rate, divorce outcomes. They don't talk about anything thoroughly. And what's really interesting is a lot of women have gotten in the red pill space and they shoot up. Like women saying these same talking points will gain popularity way faster than the men saying the same things. It's like we need each other so bad. Like women are obviously male centered for the most. A lot of women are very male centered to the point where I think like they would be healthier being less male centered. Like I know when I am at my worst, I am anxiously attached and like that's like obsessing over my husband. That's not healthy. Like you have to be able to like not obsess over that person. And it's kind of funny. It's like if these red pill people knew about attachment styles, they would understand that like a woman who is a little more independent, has her own resources. Okay, you might not be able to like corner her in a life and she might be able to leave you a little easier. It's really interesting how the same things get brought up. But like I keep saying that it divorce thing, I understand why people are wary to get married. I totally understand, but they totally butcher statistics. And what really gets me is the not being able to vote and taking away women's rights. Because when you're just complaining about dating, I don't know if you're dating right now, Acid Burn. Like, I think dating has changed so much, and, like, as an older person, at least we knew what it used to be. Like, the worst thing is for a kid to grow up into this and have known nothing else other than the social media and the judging somebody by a snapshot, type socialization, which isn't good for anybody. I guess I will Google it. I never heard about this. I've been a Bulls fan. Oh, I already read that. Oh, I got way up. No, Pillsbury Doughboy. Oh my gosh, that's a horny imagination. Looks like a bug with its legs spread, boss. I saw that too. Gary, I have very great respect for my mother. She was very smart and worked all her life to keep my family above water. That's nice, Gary. And I think a lot of the feelings of people bring up single mothers a lot in this community. which I do think we should talk about single motherhood and be more open and honest with it, but it takes two to tango, you know? And I've gotten in this debate with many men online. They think since a woman should be able not so much anymore. Since a woman has a choice to have an abortion, the man should have a choice to not pay child support once the child is born. I think that is so crazy. The child is innocent in this. The child is who you are supporting or trying to. And if you really don't want that to be a possibility, don't lay down with that woman. Like, there's men that are open and honest. Like, the more people give each other a microphone to just say what they feel. Like, there was a man a few weeks ago, it kind of went semi-viral, where he was saying, like, I'm not loyal to the children I make. I'm only loyal to the woman I'm with and the children she has. Like, why would I do anything for people I don't even live with? And it's just like, wow. So he's saying that's how these men do it. You know, that's how they spread their seed and just leave. And like, oh, it's so sad. And you know, it's sad that there's so many people that have normalized that. But once again, it's not talking about how we can make things better moving forward. It's saying literally everything is the woman's fault because I'm not even like exaggerating when I say that. Literally everything is women's fault to these people. She says it looks like a thick woman with her legs spread. How many other things does it look like with its legs spread, Boston? I had very great respect from it. I already read that. Well, I keep scrolling up twice. So what's the verdict, chat? Who saw a chubby chick? Tim, hey, how are you doing, Tim? Tim, welcome back, Mr. Carey said. The chipper said this chick is hot. Thanks. Tim Watkins said, "Hi, Mr. Carey. I saw the Pillsbury Doughboy." Mr. Carey said, "I saw that too. I never went on no dates even in my time." Oh yeah, Diamond. Um, yeah, it's funny. You know how it is when you're younger, you just like decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend and go out. It's like that is all like, okay, when you're a teenager, when you're really young, you don't have a job, you don't have a car, especially what can you do, you know? But it's like, it's weird, the disconnect. I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe I should go. My mother could have survived without my father. Yeah, I think that ideally you have a partnership, ideally, but what gets to me is yeah, there are a lot of horrible women out there. There's a lot of horrible men out there, you know? Like, what can you do? Like, I would never say because of all the horrible things that a lot of men have put me through or done in terms of the world, I would never say that I think all men are bad and all men should be given less rights because so many men have proven to be horrible people. The dating in 40s pool is more like a drainage ditch. Okay, Crowerson. Yeah, like people in their 20s complain, you know, I hate to be so pessimistic, but it has to only get harder the older you get, right? My mother couldn't have survived without my dad, no matter how much she said she always wanted to be a single mother, and it was only because of my dad's money. Yeah, Diamond. That's what a lot of people mistake like longevity for successful marriage. I don't even want to say happy because life isn't about being happy, but it's like it also isn't about like being miserable. And so many people are in long-term marriages that are. Adults forget it's all about raising the kids sometimes. Yes, okay. So like I'm as much as like I was saying, like we were happy when my parents got divorced and stuff. I still understand why people say you need to like work as hard as possible, especially when you have kids, right? Like I do believe that for sure. But it's just so hard when there's so many abusive people, men and women. There are a lot of abusive women, and it gets overlooked because, like, it's dismissed. It's more okay when the woman is being abusive, especially verbally, or physically too, but like, especially verbally, you know, and like, you can't like beat your man up. And like, once again, if he said it to you, would you be okay with it? And like, yes, your tone of voice that plays into it too. Like, a lot of women, it's just like more acceptable for them to be a certain way that it wouldn't be acceptable for their husband to be. My dad wasn't a good man either when it came to being a dad or working on things. He was only a good provider. Oh, Diamond, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I had a male father figure in the house that was like that too, and it's like, um, and it was my stepdad. Like, he wasn't horrible. He like helped us with our homework. He helped us a lot. Like, he was a good stepdad in the big scheme of things. But having him was one reason why I was like, My kids are never gonna have a step parent." And, anybody that has a blended family made it work, I'm sure they're out there. But yeah, it's like a lot of kids feel, period. And even yeah, I mean, my biological parents would, like, make us feel bad for, like, money, like utilities, water. Okay, eating a bunch of snacks, eating expensive snacks. I don't know, but like they wouldn't complain about that. It was always like I could never imagine bitching at my kids about the utility bill. I just couldn't. And then back then, like how much was it? Like everything was so much cheaper comparatively, and they were complaining more about stuff like that. And it's like I think a lot of us are walking around with trauma. And one of my favorite quotes, I don't know who said this, is marriage is healing from childhood trauma. And not everybody's meant to be married, but I think a lot of people, I actually read really interesting stuff about polyamorous relationships. People who, and this was a woman who grew up, her parents did it, and then she grew up and involved herself in the lifestyle. And it's like, everybody has trauma. Uh, People who get married have trauma. People who want to be in multiple relationships at once tend to have more trauma. They have more they need to work out and contend with. And I always thought that was super interesting. And it just makes sense to me. And so if you're not married, you're not in a polyamorous relationship, how are you going to resolve your childhood trauma? You know, I can imagine it's just other relationships, right? But like, and it almost makes me think, or I know this is kind of out there that we're just wondering together tonight. I'm not saying this for sure, I'm not God. But like, are the more damaged people the people that get married? Like, the more whole people are the people that don't? And now I'm going into that murky territory. I don't want to be like calling women who get married dumb. I got married when I was 22, and I've seen comments like that recently, and I'm like, excuse me. But like, maybe people that don't have as much to work out don't get into long-term relationships as much. If the people that get into the polyamorous ones have that much more, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work like that. But I think it's really interesting to think about why we end up in the situations we do. I only own this house, that's it. I'm an oppressed woman, I admit. I don't talk about it on my channel. I can't survive without my ex. I'm sorry. Now Kentucky laws is against females with children in this area. Corruption is bad. Um, I don't want to ask you personal questions on the live and are you married? Or are you divorced? You don't have to answer that. Lydia, you should talk about that sometime. I think Kentucky has changed its law in 2019 where women and men get equal rights now. Yes, I have talked about the custody, and I'm sorry that that's not good for you. I'm so sorry. See, the way I looked at it, of course, as like a mother of sons, I'm like, oh, I think that's fair that it's 50-50 default now during divorce court proceeding. But I also understand like I heard horror stories of where like this man tried to unalive the mom and he still got 50-50 custody. It's like, that's not right. And this is something I didn't say when I talked about it. I'm just going to be real. I think there's a lot of men that could get it and don't. Let's be real. I wonder how much that happens. Nobody's going to bring up those statistics because let's be real. A lot of men are completely okay with having their kids 4 days a month, and the ones that do want 50-50, like it's, especially if you work a lot, like most men do or should be, especially if you're a dad, you don't have much business doing the 50-50. You usually have them at your mom's house. That's usually how it goes. It's like grandma's having them 50% of the time. But I didn't want to say that in my chat because I'm like trying to be really fair when I was talking about the 50-50 custody. But that's what I told myself. A lot of men that have no business having the children 50% of the time are just going to not want the children and that responsibility. However, the other end of that is there's some sick, twisted men that will actually take advantage of that. The older you get, it's supposed to be blue pill that makes it harder. Oh, you meant something else. Sorry, I apologize, Mr. Carey. They were so funny. Oh my gosh. Mr. Carey, I've been coming up with Viagra jokes since I saw the stream title. Oki said, Mr. Carey, my dad died of cancer when I was 13. My mom had a guy that beat me and her, which my mom beat me before my dad died. My dad never beat me. He just took a belt to my butt and spun me around. Very strong man too. He would say it will hurt me more than it will hurt you. I'm so sorry, Mr. Carey. Yeah, I have my hair braided, and then I have, like, this, if you have longer hair and you braid them and then you put them in loops, and then you, like, take one loop and put it around the other loop, it creates that, like, figure 8 braid hairstyle. Yoder, hey, how are you? Have you done oh, I just read that. Yes, if my parents did me the way nowadays that they had done me when I was young, I've been taken away from them with the modern society standards. Yes, Diamond, I'm so sorry to hear that. And oh, it makes me so sad. Like my son told me something this kid said that got on the bus, and oh gosh, it just like breaks my heart to think about all the people in bad situations, especially people that are like a minor or in guardian under guardianship of somebody and being treated poorly. Mister, the one thing that, like, the only thing that makes me feel better is, like, if our souls picked this and, like, the more people suffer, like, the more their souls are going to elevate, and, like, they picked that before this lifetime to endure all these horrible, miserable things, is one of the only things. Mr. Carey, be thankful you didn't hear a zipper after those whippings spun you around. Oh, okay. Oh, oh, what a dark joke. Okay. Mr. Carey Yoder, oh, we didn't have YouTube when that happened. Right. I got married young, Diamond said. Greg S. enjoying the house. You mean my double wide? I know, it's a house. I should stop using this so much. It's not like I'm going to be on here much longer, but I smudged it. You think they come up with better body crowns than this stuff? It's like so easily smudged. Mr. Carey, I tried to call you a lot today, Yoder said. Aw, Diamond, I live next to a family who don't speak to me, haven't in over a year. You live next to family. That's so that's so sad. I know my family is like dispersed and grown apart since all the grandmas passed away. We don't have that phone service, Mr. Carey said. I'm sorry, Mr. Carey, Diamond said. Diamond, are you single for alimony? What does that mean, Okie? Um, I don't want to speak for, she's been through a lot medically, Okie. She's been through a lot. So, I'm not trying to speak for you, Diamond, but if she is single, I'm sure it's because she's just been through a shit ton, not because she's trying to just get alimony. I don't think alimony is really that big of a thing here. Fatherhood is an antiquated and toxic concept. If we all agree that we would all choose a bear rather than a man, then why are we still allowing them near our children? Well, Greg S., 90% of violent crime is committed by men, but it's not all men, It's a small minority of men committing that 90% of the crime. And this is something people never bring up when it comes to the bear thing. I don't think I've talked about this on my channel. Number one, if I see a random man out in the woods, I'm automatically going to assume he is carrying a GUN, and that is going to very much scare me unless I have one myself. Nobody ever brings up that concept of the man could have a weapon that could unalive you from a distance. Never mind that. And like the bears we have around here are really docile. They are like they're known to be skittish and run away from you. Nobody ever talks about the type of bear. Oh, I'd rather run into a man over a grizzly or a polar bear any day of the week. A Kodiak, what I don't understand why all the nuance goes out the window. Or like, as a woman who is 14 years old, a grown man tried to push me into a gas station bathroom when I was coming out of it. And then later in life, I had men trying to push me into bathroom. I don't know what the deal is, why I'm like so bathroom pushable to men, but, like, it is a scary world when you are vulnerable and less strong compared to these people who have a freaking testosterone surging through them and have an axe to grind at that. Like, yeah, women can be horrible psychologically, but, I don't feel like my life might be taken because one of them is saying something bitchy to me, yelling at me across the street, being a bitch, you know? I've had men pull out a knife on me. I've been raped once before. I've had the worst things that have ever happened to me were at the hands of a violent, aggressive man. And every single woman I know has similar stories. And like, it would be really nice if like men, like, I think a lot of you do. Like, you see that it's not at all women trying to play victim. Like, you're all so bad, and I think most men know better than that. And that is the thing, like, fathers being in the home is so important and can be such a strong indicator, but as I've mentioned already, so many of us are so fucked up. I'm not gonna say that, like, it's the only answer to have the dad in the home. Divorce is the only reason anyone gets married anymore, Greg S. said. Well, I don't what do you mean by that, Greg? Are you are you one of those that think women get rich after every divorce when most of the time a woman walks away impoverished after divorce? And if the man does lose his house or assets, he bounces back within a matter of years. Jesse Tuttle, I got mine. Five other men in the court at the same time, all the same story. Wife on drugs, wife hits husband, restraining orders, judge was passed. She said, "What is wrong with a woman anymore?" Jesse, I'm trying to make sense of your comment. I don't know if you were in here, but it wasn't that long ago. I said women can be horribly abusive, physically and emotionally, and they get away with it more. So, like, I acknowledge that. But if you're trying to say that in response to men commit 90% of the violent crime, they still do. I mean, I'm sorry, men still do commit, like, when you're saying that you need to protect us, you're not saying protect us from other women. You're saying you need to protect us from the bad men. You need to protect yourself physically from bad men, not from women. It's like, it, girl power, Yoder said. Greg, welcome back. Oh, Tim, thanks. No, nowadays here in Kentucky, they changed that law back in 2019. A lot of people are not getting divorced. Yes. So the divorce rate has gone down all over the country, but Kentucky has gone down like what, 15, 20% on top of what the rest averaging is. Which I do think it has something to do with that. And then, so once again, I know I'm overgeneralizing to a point. Red pill people will applaud this and think it's the greatest thing since sliced cheese. That like people are seemingly stuck in more bad situations. Like I don't think that's the answer. The answer is to like evolve and grow. We have so many resources, like free ones at that, to help us understand each other. My ex supports me more than my family, I'll put it like that, Diamond said. Well, I'm glad he's a good enough man to do that, Diamond. I'm not saying that he's a good man. I'm not like, trying to be dismissive of anything he's put you through, but for your sake, I'm glad that he helps you take care of the children he created. Acid burn, and I don't know all details, but you know what I mean. I'm glad he's helping to take care of you in as a mother, regardless of your circumstances. LOL, my dad drove me to a girl's house when I was 15. Once the mother liked me, we were free to be alone. Acid burn. See, I was left alone when I was 14, and my boyfriends, and I don't play that. Door open, no blankets. Greg, makes sense. Why would anyone make the necessary sacrifices that a successful marriage requires when there's literally a free cash prize payout for for failure? Well, Greg, I hope you're still here, Greg. Okay, you are. Most people don't have any a pot to piss in, or barely have a pot to piss in, let alone a savings account. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. It's fair to say 60% of people getting divorced don't have anything to split but debt. Let's be real. We need to quit acting like playing that keeping up with the Joneses. That's something I try to be very transparent with on my channel. We live paycheck to paycheck. We have for a few years. It didn't always used to be like that. We never really kept much of a savings for long because of all my health issues. But between what everything costs now, you throw in like a legal battle, a health issue, a surgery. Oh my gosh, like life is hard. And no, most women don't walk away benefiting financially from divorce. That's simply not true. It's not. And you can look it up. 8% of divorces end in alimony, and 2 or 3% of that is the woman paying the man, which does happen. Fendi said, "Nah, choose the grizzly instead." How are you, Fendi? I live oppressed, wouldn't wish my life on anyone. I'm trying my best to improve in my family that lives with me. We have to do what works best for our family. It is what it is. Well, I'm so glad that you're like consistent with your YouTube content. Like, I really hope that that takes off for you one day because I know that would be so great for you. She used to make over 300,000 a year selling insurance. Who did, Diamond? It's not a big thing here, but my cousin who is female was ordered to pay her ex alimony. Yeah, wow. Wow, that's so much money. Yeah, Diamond, and that's the thing, when people talk about how, like, it would be better to go back to the days, like, where basically women had to go through men to get resources, like, eh It's so backwards. If you would have told me in the late 90s, early 2000s, we were going to be at this place where men were open about how they felt like women, nobody suffers from more violence from men than men do. Although we do appreciate the support from any woman that has had to suffer a taste of it for themselves, Greg S. And well, I know, that's what I'm saying, Craig. Like, it's the bad men that harm all of us and put us all at risk every time we leave the house. I never bothered that guy or anything is still bothering you because he assumes you're me. Oh my gosh, Yoder. Oh, you guys talking about handsome? Hey, Zeus, how are you tonight? Oh, Tim, I love you too. That new law wouldn't work for my ex. He's from Pike County. That's over an hour away. Greg, people are promiscuous enough now that exclusive romantic relationships are no longer necessary. That's one thing that's so sad. Greg, I had to get a hysterectomy this year because I had both high risk types of HPV, and I know with all my heart that's from when I was promiscuous. It's God's way of showing us like it's not healthy for men or women to sleep around and create those ties physically, spiritually with several people. I think you're just trolling at this point, though, Greg. I couldn't imagine the rest of my life being like one night stand. Whenever I feel like getting some intimacy, I'm just gonna sleep with somebody new. That sounds awful. That sounds degrading, demeaning, demoralizing. That nobody on God's green earth has ever said the best sex I ever had in my life was with that one night stand with that one person I barely knew. I'm sorry, I really don't. If they did, then that's sad. It's sad that that was the best sex of their life. You don't ever have the best sex you're ever gonna have unless you're with somebody a lot and you get to know them, it's like it's not an easy thing to like pull, and I'm not saying it can't be great the first time, like of course it can. And that kind of attraction is very important. So when you're like encouraging, I'm not saying all right people tell people do, but to a certain extent you're like almost encouraging the young women to be hypergamous, which I don't think there's anything super wrong with that. Wasn't my choice in life, but, like, you're, like, kinda pushing them towards that, at the same time, shaming them when they do it. It's only against the law to marry your first cousin in the United States. I think I've said this before, we had teachers that were second cousins, all of their children were beautiful, beautiful. One of them won a major beauty competition, I'm not gonna say what, but, like, like, kinda I think, like, the closeness of the genetics can, like, pay up like, I've heard it's, like, usually, I'm not saying it can't be harmful, but usually it takes a few generations, like, to see the ill effects genetically. Not that it can't the first. I never went through the Kentucky child support system with either of my children. I don't believe in that. Oh, Diamond. So you guys work it out outside of that. Well, I'm glad for you that you can do that. That new law. Oh, I already read that. It's only against the law. Okay. Why am I reading the same stuff over and over? What even is that? Mr. Carey, they just said they were investigating it all. It was very clear that you and I are separate identities. I wouldn't worry about it really, but kind of took me off guard. Greg, this lady is too nice. I feel bad for being so cynical and jaded on here. God bless you. Greg, no, I like it when people give me something to oppose. Jesus, Acid Burn, Alabama has entered the chat. Yoder, the only snippet of info I got out of it was the vibe of Stephanie called it all in, not sure, but what's it sound like by their wording? Gary, why had gold doubled in value in 1 year? Is our money worthless? Oh, it's getting to seem like that, Gary. It is scary. Like it's scary what is happening with gold. Um, yeah. It's only a matter of time until they're really honest about this recession we're in my opinion. Yeah, she stopped working after her divorce and turned to rugs because of her ex and ended up with more than she was the independent woman in the relationship. He only worked 4 years of their marriage, and he said he took care of the kids when she was on rugs the whole time. That sucks. Gosh. Yeah, it's so sad. The problems me and my husband have ever had, however bad it ever got, like, it's so sad when you have children with somebody and you can't, like, work with them. You know what I mean? Can't, like, be amicable with them at all. Like, how I couldn't imagine, like, and how does that not translate into and I feel like this I'm like a female version of my dad, and I do feel like that's part of why I'm the scapegoat. Like, my mom, I can't talk to my mom because more often than not, she, like, says really mean stuff to me, and I'm just like, I know I don't deserve whatever kind of attitude or whatever I've ever given her And, I look at everything when it comes to my kids as like it's ultimately my fault. If they do something I don't like, it was my fault. I'm not gonna blame it on them. Gary, that's not how money works. Gold is an asset. It went up because the money created was then used to buy gold to fight inflation. Jesus, good explanation, Jesus. My body count is, I do think it's a sign it's about to implode, though, right, Jesus? My body count is 2. Oh, wow, Diamond. I think I got the HPV from the other guy, but who knows? Wow. I just hate hearing that. Printing more money causes inflation, Acid Burns said. Yes. Fendi, they probably compare guys and their past to current BF or husband. Yeah, um, that's the pair bonding thing, like, it is true, but not exactly how Red Pill says it. They make it seem like you should only you could women have to be a virgin, but it really is, like, it's beneficial to have been with, like, 2 people before your spouse, but not more than that, and the same can be said about men. It's like they leave that part out. No, it's not, um and I don't think it's, like, literal I'm proof of that, let's just to be blunt. It's not, just because you have I mean, high for the amount of time I did it in, a high body count, like, means you'll literally never be able to pair bond with somebody again. That is crazy. Of course, it does take a lot of work and acknowledgement, and it's not to say, like, I think it's you have to heal from that as a woman or a man. It's not just about being, "Oh, it was in my past," Like, no, it's way more serious than that. Leave some for us, Lewis. Straight shooter, that is so funny. Sandy, they probably could I already there I go again. Lydia, I gotta go now. Love you, sweet dreams. Oh, love you too, Tim. I hope you sleep well tonight. Not necessarily. If people take the printed money and pay off debt, it's money creation combined with money deletion. Yeah, but what I put in my video and what like research said was when you print more money than you are making goods in production, that makes the goods cost more because there's like too much money floating around in the system. A diamond and a diamond. Now he was on drugs the whole time when he was taking care of the kids. She didn't get on them till after their divorce. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Oh my gosh, I have the flu still. Oh, acid burn. I hope you feel better soon. I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't know if you take airborne or something if you're still on here, but you should get some good vitamins and minerals in you. Thank you, Mr. Carey. We really need to start going back to bartering. I think we'll have to not, yes, yes, I totally agree. Like, if we could be more community minded like that diamond, um, yeah, we're definitely hiding that. Guess what the oldest profession is? Oh, okay. Also, one of the oldest things men were doing was like pillaging villages, but we don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? And I also think it's the kind of thing that's like it's inevitable. But it shouldn't be normalized, you know what I mean? Certain things are to be left, like, in the dark and, like, not, like, made into a respectable profession, right? Smex Oki, Diamond said. Gary said, Jesus, thanks for the info. Yeah, that I am not an economist at all. And like that really simplified version of there's more money than goods. I can make sense of that because I can literally like visualize it, but I'm not saying I'm an expert at all either. Now I wish I would have looked at the chat at the beginning because I'm never gonna see it again. Um, I used to have a big YouTube channel but got suspended. I used to do reaction videos to okay, so there's this oh my gosh, is it Gilbert's Void? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? He's a young man and he makes so many good videos regarding a lot of subjects. He's just like a fun guy to watch, and particularly like when it comes to adult media, why men shouldn't partake. It's like one of the first times I've seen a man of any age, but especially a young man, like talk about these subjects in such a way. And So that's refreshing. It's like there are young men who see the light. It's like, are you tired of this? Like, don't participate in it, you know? It's just that simple. Yes, inflation is not the printing part, it's the spending, Jesus said. That's interesting. Yeah, we often forget about all the pillaging. Okay. Why am I laughing at that? Hey, Lydia, can you see my comments? Yes, Fendi. Are your comments not showing up? I'm looking at your channel activity right now. And okay, I didn't see this earlier. You said, "Hey, so you hear about how people are not going to get their SNAP next month because of the shutdown." That's what I didn't see. You hear about they are stopping people's SNAP next month. Probably going to be a lot of looting next month. Yes, I did briefly talk about that on one of my lives. That's so sad, Fendi, because I do think it's like another divide and conquer tactic. How they've like made a lot of people, the working class, think that like they should be mad at the people on benefits when I think most of the people on benefits deserve them, first of all. Yes, are there some people that take advantage of the system? Of course. But nobody takes advantage of the system more than billionaires like Elon Musk. And then they're making us all fight with each other. And I even said it like, I do get it. I do get why people see somebody with their hair done, their nails done, a nice outfit on, and then they're complaining about their EBT. Like, I understand that because when I was furloughed last, no income. We were like struggling to make ends meet. I couldn't get help. Like I literally couldn't get even temporary food stamps. And I think a lot of us have been in that position where we're like looking for help and we don't qualify even though we literally have no income. Um but once again, don't be like lobsters in a bucket and take it out on the people that like they didn't create the system, you know? And it's so sad to think about so many children rely on that. I saw this nasty woman, like, smacking her lips, eating a freaking peanut butter sandwich or something, like, bragging like, not bragging, but basically, like, saying these sentiments like, "Oh, you should have saved your SNAP benefits, you should have bought better food with it last month." And this is wicked. Thanksgiving? They're doing it the month that holidays start, that, like, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, the biggest mm, they don't even check receipts at our Walmart here, like, that's how quaint things are. You know, we still have the honor system at farm stands, and I'm sure there's other places like that, but, like, it makes me sad to think that that's possibly, all of our food is gonna cost even more now because Oki said, "No, printing creates inflation." Give it a Google. I definitely agree with you, Oki, when you Google it, that is what it says. No, Pog. I don't I don't look at women as objects or tools to be used. I'll talk about the beauty of women all the time, but they're not like freaking things to be used. What the fuck is this thing? Why not MILFs of history? Uh Offset, it is Lewis the Bull Rider, allegedly. Lewis the Bull Rider! Oh my gosh, Mr. Carey, you're so funny. Can only spend what you got, print more to spend more, inflates the price on US gold, Oki said. Diamond, you're going to get mad at me for my video I'm going to be making about the food stamps, LOL. Diamond, I could never get mad at you. Never. If I haven't made you mad, I don't think anything you could that doesn't make sense. I don't know why I said it like that. I really um as opinionated as I am, I hope that all of you know that have channels or say anything to me. Like I mean it when I say I look at everybody. It's kind of weird concept to grasp. Everybody is an innocent baby that a lot of things happen to them to give them the perspective that they have and the personality and everything they've got going on, you know? And it's like who am I to like change that or try to fight that or whatever? And like if it's something I don't like and it's like a person that I like, I can let that roll off my back real quick. Except for when you start saying, "I shouldn't be able to vote. I shouldn't have the same rights as you. I should pay into the same system, pay the same amount of taxes when I have a job. Um, I should get treated as lazy and less than when I stay at home and raise children, even though childcare is exceedingly expensive and you leave your children in the care of anybody else and you have to pay them to take care of them because it is definitely a job, a job that most men yeah, once again, I shouldn't say that. A lot of men wouldn't want to do, right? I know there's a lot of good fathers out there. Like my husband is like a second mom. Like he's a really good dad. And not I think more guys from our generation and up are, like, more hands-on and proud to be hands-on, you know? Okay, that's kinda mean. They're celebrating this too, Fendi said. See, like, there's so many poor people in Kentucky. Diamond, I'm really interested to hear your you haven't gotten any since 2023? See, one thing that I've said that, like, I don't know if I could make a whole video out of this, but I feel like all of this was been being implemented for years already, right, Diamond? Like, we always had our kids on state insurance, not Medicaid, but like we always qualified for like the step above that where you paid a small premium because like we couldn't afford to get it through work, but we were we are literally 2,000, like $2,000 away from the income limit for Medicaid for them. So we had them on like the state insurance and it got like every year it got like harder and harder and harder to get them that insurance. And that's what I feel like they've been like squeezing us out for a while, right? Mr. Carey, you know what the food stamp office said to my wife? Why we don't qualify because we pay too much in rent. How did we have time to find a place for lower rent, so stupid they are. That is so I know, that is so ridiculous. Oh my we really do live in like a clown world. And this is the stuff I'm talking about, guys. This has nothing to do with men versus women. Like this is uh, Great Depression 2.0. Like this is like end of times era. This is shit's about to go down. People are going to be like destitute, starving in the streets, and they already are. But the sun is very active. It messes with the internet tonight. Acid burn. Oh, am I lagging again? Fendi. And I heard that employees are going to turn blind eye if no, if people loot, and I definitely ain't stopping nobody. Yeah, I wouldn't. But the thing that concerns me, I wouldn't say anything or anything. But I'd also be like, if people keep doing that, then we're all going to be paying for it. You know, somebody's going to have to eat that cost, and it's not going to be Walmart and Kroger's. You know, or not completely. And but at the same time, I'm just thinking ahead. I still like you got to do what you got to do. I don't understand what they expect people to do. These the rich people that are out of touch with the same mentality, like because money just like appears out of thin air for them. Basically, they think like, why can't you just make more money? I don't get it. And like, because they have no, they don't even think. What was that one newscaster? What was it? They thought, like, people that, like, worked at McDonald's made, like, 80,000 a year or something, like, people are so out of touch, and, the people that call all the shots are so out of touch, and it's designed that way on purpose. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments. Tim said, I respect all of women's rights. Thank you, Tim. And it's not about being a protected class either. I think I made that clear. I think women have gotten the same rights. I don't believe in the wage gap. I believe that it's women's choices that cause them to make less money over the course of their lifetime. I don't believe in this imaginary wage gap where women get paid less than men just because they're a woman. But it it really is like the social aspects, you know, like we're the same, and I'm glad for that, but we need to work on a lot of men. I don't even want to say half of men, but enough that it matters. Like a lot of men, it's okay to be like, I'm not interested in romantic relationships. I think women aren't my cup of tea. That's completely okay. But to take it to the point where you're blaming literally everything on half of the human race when we're all born and suffer in the same ways. I'd be happy to pay for newborns and mother's nourishment until 7, just vegetables and turkey, though. Better way to spend money than most administrations. Straight shooter. I understand what you're saying. Fruit too, some treats, you know. Yeah, like I do. I understood that not letting people buy like soda and stuff with it. I'm all about that, especially when it comes to the kids, because that's what I'm always thinking about the kids, you know? It's like 60% of EBT recipients have children in the home, I believe. So when people are celebrating, they're celebrating children having less food in their home. That's how I look at it. Also, lots of these stores make money off of SNAP and they are going to lose a lot of money and food and end up going bad. I didn't know that, Fendi. Oh, that's an interesting point. Kentucky has always been bad about helping families in need. Right, Mr. Carey, there's so many families here that need it. We were so blessed to get the Michelle P. waiver when we did. I shouldn't talk about that, but gone are the times of makes me so sad. I'm actually 100 pounds lighter than my brothers, and I'm sure it's because of our income and food we could eat. Or we have different fathers. Not that y'all can talk about my mama straight shooter. Oh, well, genetics is real too. You know what I mean? It's really interesting how it can impact weight distribution and weight gain and stuff. Well, toxic. My title explained it. I know I haven't been, I read my script the first 10 minutes of this video. I'm just like a red pilled man that's like giving my thoughts on how men built the world and women merely live in it. They do nothing important. Basically trying to make a point at how silly a lot of these people are. And I think as long as you got a beating heart and lungs that breathe, you have the ability to change. So I don't look at anybody as like a horrible, corrupted demon. Okay, once again, maybe like the oligarchs, like really, really 1%, like those kind of people. I think they're so corrupted. They're so possessed by evil. They are like pure demons. Yeah, here you can only go to one food bank, and if you go to other food banks won't help. Mr. Carey, really? Yeah, I'll never for when I was trying to go to food banks and this church, like, made me feel like I am like, "Huh," and then when I was leaving, she's like, "Oh, you have kids that go to this county, like, a school?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, well, you're eligible for this," when the whole time she made me feel like she was doing me this huge favor, and I better, like, tithe as soon as I can to their church. It was ridiculous, and they had so much stuff, and I'm sitting there explaining how I'm furloughed and, like, uh, yeah, we're one income usually because we have a special needs kid, yada yada, and like that was so. And then I've seen people say that just go and ask a church. Oh, I'm so grateful for that church's help, but it's not as easy as just going and asking a church. I know that from experience. One time a month doesn't last. Right, Mr. Carey, especially you've got teenagers. Women corn stars make 3 to 4 times more than men. Yeah, okay, grower, but, like, 99.9% of female corn star women that attempt to do that, they make, like, $100 a year off of it, and then they put that out there about, forever. They damage the rest of their lives, let's be real, they damage their reputations. I talk about my past just because, like, people need to know, like, it's damaging. It damages you. Does that mean you are damaged goods? No. A lot of things are like that in life, but you have to acknowledge it to like recover from it, you know? This one's in transit. Pyramid, how are you? A lot of food banks rely on donations from other nonprofits that are not being funded right now. Oh, it's so sad. But this country can give 20 billion to Argentina, the no-no country, but people who need help, no, too much of the strain on the government. Right, Fendi? Right. Yeah, because we can't, I guess we can't give them oil or whatever the fuck Argentina has to offer, and like, oh, it makes me so, I know. And that's why, like, one of the only things that makes like, and I genuinely want to, and I know not everybody wants this, but like putting your hands in the dirt, building something literally from the ground up, like creating self-sustainability, a closed loop system where you have everything you need on your land. And you've got a water source, you've got solar panel, like everything like that. That's they don't want people to have the confidence that that brings with it. They want us to be stretched out, touched out, and like just put out all the time. And that's what they're doing to people right now, right? Coming up on the holidays, this is all done by design. This government shutdown, all done on purpose. And I can't stress it enough. I do respect hardworking men. My husband is one of them. I've been around hardworking men my whole life, and one of my uncles is missing his front teeth because a freaking huge beam hit him in his face, and he was working construction, and he was such a handsome young man. He's still a handsome old man, but he's never got his teeth replaced, never, and yeah, I'm just my favorite uncle. Like every time I saw him smile, I was reminded of the hard labor he did. And I think a lot of us have men like that in our lives, right? And life is hard. Life is supposed to be hard. We're supposed to work hard. We're supposed to toil. Women are supposed to go through pain. I'm not saying that every woman's supposed to give natural childbirth, but even just being in labor is painful. And um, what is the point of all of that if we can't enjoy the good parts of life? And with self-sustainability comes a lot of beauty, a lot of delayed gratification that it's just so beneficial. And I'm going to take you through like really planning my gardening, my garden for like next year, 2026 spring garden. I have a few little salad starts going right now. I forgot how slow shit grows in the colder weather, you know? It's like they're just so slow growing. But we are going, excuse me, we're getting landscaping fabric like right now. We're gonna like kill out a bunch of weeds and like do it right because thanks to you guys, I didn't have the funds to get as much mulch as I needed. And we tried Chip Drop. If you weren't aware, Chip Drop is a free service where you can ask arborists to haul in their mulched wood chips, but you never know what you're gonna get, you know? And it could be somebody that sprayed the shit out of their trees with some chemicals. And usually people aren't doing that, but still. Anyways, yeah, I really want to share with you guys as much as I talk about a lot of this stuff and spin my wheels on like more negative subject matter. Like the whole point is like, where do we go from here? What are the solutions? You know, like if things aren't getting any better and they're never going to go back to where they were, where can we go from here? I want to be a Hooters waiter. It's discrimination. Me too. Okay. All those videos, they're like, "Girls, look at your mom. You're gonna look like her most likely. You'll probably have around the same cup size as her." That's not true. Stop telling girls that in the little, puberty videos. Sir Gooper. Women took care of the weird. Oh, that has never happened before. The temperature got too hot, and just now I didn't think it would they're like, "Do you wanna resume?" It's been out for like 5 minutes. I can't believe that it is still up here. Good night, straight shooter. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm just going to end this, but I didn't want to say smack the router like a TV, smack the router like the fawns. My sister was talking about the fawns. You guys know who I'm talking about? Happy Days, the fawns, the cool guy with the leather jacket. I know not everybody watched all those old shows the way that we did, but I know a lot of you guys are old in here. Like she was talking about confidence and like people acting, a certain way. And she's like, I think about the fawns and how the fawns acted. And I thought she was talking about like deer fawns, like baby deer. And in my head, I'm like, the fawns. You think about how the fawns acted. And then she starts talking about like happy days, the that was so funny and cute to me. So I was gonna make a different title and be like, "Red Pill Man has an awakening," and like do this little like 5 minute spiel. But like maybe I should make. They're basically like there is always time to change, and I think that men. I think that men should be proud of the work they did. Their grandparents, their grandpa, their great grandpa. I think that is so great and special when somebody can, be proud of what came before them, and that is important. So I don't want to knock that at all, but it's not at the cost of like saying that women have done nothing when women's lot in life is a whole lot of something. It really is. And men, you can choose to never face the repercussions of your fertility. You can choose to walk away from all responsibility. It's not like that when it's in your body, you know? And, is when we do need to do better. We do need to choose better. That's true. But it's a lot hard to choose better when there aren't lots of better to choose from. Armpit hair. Oh, I was gonna put, like, balloons in my sleeves to look like muscles. I completely forgot about that. That probably wouldn't have worked. Armpit bush. Why is that so funny to me? Straight shooter, thank you for listening to me preach. But yes, I really do think that like the point of this is like is um detrimental as it can be to blame half of the I what can come from it that's good is like yeah, you should be proud as a man. And we have emasculated men. We have told them masculinity is toxic. At the same time, it's like the only thing they have to offer. And it is a sad state. Like there's plenty of women that see it for what it is and empathize with that. It's like the same powers that shouldn't be. They like oppress women that are also fucking with men. It's not women oppressing men or making things harder for men just because we want to make men suffer. It was a mustache. Elon won't miss it. Those Teslas are running up the roads. Oh my gosh. Elon Musk paid $40 billion in taxes 1 year. I didn't I thought he was like Bezos. I didn't think he paid any taxes. Like Bezos doesn't pay shit. Some people infect people with stuff on purpose. Oh, Diamond, I've heard that. It's like a fetish. What is it called? That I don't know why anything surprises me anymore. But people look at it as like they have like a part of somebody with that is crazy. As somebody who had to get major organs cut out because of that shit, I couldn't imagine wanting to be infected with some like, do these people have any health issues? Like, are they crazy? Why would you want to give yourself health issues? And that's something people think, well, it's just gift givers. Fendi, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know what that means, Mustafa, so I'm going to hide it. I might look more like a man, but I've never wanted to be a man. Diamond, I don't think you look like a man. Diamond, you do not. You have a very pear-shaped body. You're very feminine. See, that's that convention, like what we consider to be beautiful. That's that getting into your head, like that very narrow-minded. Um, like this one woman I follow, she just why do I talk about big boobs so much lately? I don't know what it is. This everyday starlet, she has a bigger chest, and she's like she talks about like how her body type, because she's right, like her particular body type was never glorified like so many body types, most body types, right? Like how many women are skinny in the waist, big boobs, big butt, is skinny arms, like how many women really are? Oh, and on top of that, she's got big, beautiful eyes, small little nose, big lips, luscious hair. Like, how many women really are like that? That's why, like, people like Marilyn Monroe are so special because they really did like win the genetic lottery. And even her looks were a lot of them were surgically enhanced. People don't really realize that. And anyways, it just makes me so sad that like we're getting more is we have the ability to connect. We're getting more narrow-minded with like what makes a woman. And that's one reason I talk so much about like what it's like growing up. I made a comment on her channel, and like this one woman asked me a question. Because I was talking about because she's like saying the absolute worst, the worst way to be as a woman is built like her. She gets it the worst. And I was like, oh, I think it's like perspective. I think we all feel like that. You know what I mean? Try having A cups. Sorry, I do think that's worse. And there we go doing what she did. You know what I mean? It's like it's so hard. Like I told her, I think people think you're like undeniably gorgeous, and that's why they want to bring you down. People see something in you that they like, and then they want to bring you down. If your light wasn't shining so bright, people wouldn't want to say mean stuff to you. And that really sucks. No, they just do it because they're evil. Diamond said. They're asking you to do a hot dog. Do you have a hot dog or no hot dog? Mr. Carey said. Um, do you ever watch that show Bridgerton? No, Diamond, I do not. Pyramid, even the worst I ever had was still pretty good. Like pizza. That is a funny joke. Sex is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's good. If you're the man. Um, well, even when I had breasts, mine was never that big, more like A cups, Diamond said. Right, right. And like the way I look at it now that I'm older, it's like there's like certain traits that are like inherently feminine. And, like, breasts are one of those. Not every woman is going to have big, ample breasts, though, right? Like, not every woman is going to have certain things that you have. And, like, um, yeah, that's why I think it would be so boring if all women were built exactly the same. Like, wouldn't that be boring? The bottom heavy ones, those are the bread and butter of beauty, straight shooter said. Aw, that's nice. Fendi. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go to Russia because they got the shared value visa for Westerners. Oh, I think I haven't learned as much about Russia as I wanted to, but I think their culture is really neat in a lot of ways. Like when you learn more about their history and like the way they are as a people, I think like Eastern European women are, and not that you're necessarily saying that's what you're going for, but they're so beautiful and stoic in a way that like a lot of men here might consider masculine, but really, we all need to be more of that. Shooting at Howard University just reported by another channel in Washington, D.C. That's a one of those historically black universities, right? That's horrible, Mr. Carey. Thank you for saying that. 11, 13 at night. That's so sad. There's been so many mass ones of those lately, right? I mean, it was like for a week, there was so many, and then it kind of calmed down a little bit. Is this like the rise and fall? I'm doing well, Mustafa. How are you? Having bankers as friends is a good thing. Yeah, having good connections would be good. And when I talk about the elite, I mean like top 1% that call all the shots. I hope to be a high earner one day, like anything's possible. But I really do believe mo money, more problems. Mo money, mo problems. That's true. And I don't want so much money that people are suing me. You know what I mean? I would like to have Russians are so beautiful. Mustafa said, yes. I think women from everywhere are so beautiful, but like I do understand it does seem to be a higher ratio of just extremely beautiful women there. Acid burn said C cup is perfect. I know I've heard that our whole lives. That's what's like. Imagine if women were like, I'm going to be really graphic. Content warning. It has to be 7 inches. Listen to me. 8, 9 inches long and 4 inches girth. It has to be that, and anything other than that isn't as acceptable because it's not gonna be as sexy and it's not gonna satisfy us as much. And okay, I need to get off of here before I say something I regret. But I almost think that actually makes more sense. That actually, not that that has to be that big. I'm just saying that when women devalue a man's body because of sizes of his body parts that he can't help. He was just born that way. I think it's that doesn't happen as much, right? And you think it would happen. You hear some women are size queens or whatever, but it's like women are we're so respectful when it comes to the size of body parts that you guys can't change. When it comes to ours, instead of being like, oh, she's a shower, not a grower or something. I don't know. Like, you, okay, I'm gonna say something I regret. Just because you have smaller than C cups doesn't mean they can't be beautiful. You know what I mean? And all women have, or a lot of women have learned that just because a man doesn't have the ideal size doesn't mean that it can't be just as great. And like because we have implants now, it's like this attitude, and that's what somebody asked me in that comment section. She's like, "Did you said men and women made fun of you?" Like, I found it to be my experience that, like, women are the ones that make fun of other women for being skinny, but men don't do it. And I was like, no, you're right. No man ever made fun of me for being skinny. No, no man ever said anything about me being skinny. Like, I never got the fly, you're going to fly away in the wind, or you need to eat a cheeseburger comments from men. That was always a woman every single fucking time, constantly, every time. I was underweight. I had so many autoimmune issues. That was why I wasn't, but like the men, always bring up, the size of my chest, and it's just this attitude that's like, "You can fix it, so fix it." And I can't, when I first saw the first video of a woman getting implants, I'll never forget, I couldn't find the remote, and, like, it was just on the cable TV at my dad's house one summer, and, like, I couldn't take my eyes off of it, and I'm never and I was very young then, I'm never going to get a surgery that requires drains, tubes sticking out of my chest, and, like, I might not be able to breastfeed my kids. I had at 18 years old people trying to get me to do it, saying they would pay for it. And when I looked into it, and I'm like, back then, 20 years ago, it said you had like a 25% chance you couldn't breastfeed. I guess they do it different now because I don't think it's such a big chance. Not to sound like a saint, but honestly, 18-year-old Lydia, I already knew I was definitely going to be a mom and I definitely wanted to nurse my babies. And that was more important to me than having C cups. Having enough money to give you the freedom to do what you want to do is the goal. No need to hoard billions. Yes, Ed, exactly. That's all that matters. Just being comfortable enough to not stress about your bills and your food. Any excess money after that doesn't make you happier. Diamond said that's basically what I said. And at 9 inches, I know. But, the average cup size was B cup before everybody got implants. You know what I mean? I think it might be C cup now, but that's because of implants. For decades, it was B cup. But then growing up, it's C, 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 C. Most women naturally Don't. But then, of course, like, we're all thinking of women that are naturally there are those women that do, and they're beautiful, and it's great, right? But, like, to expect us all to be like that is, like, these really feminine traits. Some people have an abundance of them. We can't all have an abundance of all of them, right? But I hate bringing that up. I really do. I hate bringing that up. I don't want to talk about how against routine infant circumcision I am because I don't want to make a man feel bad about his body. But little boys die every year so they can look like their dads. When we have running water, we don't live in a desert. We don't have to do that. Women have foreskin too. And we have a whole aisle, half a aisle dedicated to cleaning it. That's what you do. You clean it. Sorry, guys. I need to go. Mr. Carey, I do mostly for personality, but some things are important. It's not a game changer. It's just being honest is like looks for people to I admit I've devalued a man's and a man's devalued mine. Diamond, you are such an honest person. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's something that you can't physically help. Like that's horrible. And that's nobody would want to hear something like that, you know? And it's like because we're so obsessed with boobs, it's just so normal. Like my mother-in-law did it to me. She's like, I like your bikini top. Too bad I could never borrow it. She said that to me. Constant comments like that. It was like she women do it to each other too, you know? She had bigger boobs, therefore she was like dominating over me. That's what women, not all women with, I don't mean it like all women with big boobs do that either, because I know they don't. No, they don't at all. But if there's already that weird competition thing and the woman doesn't like you and she has bigger boobs than you are going to hear about it a lot. You're going to hear about her boobs. You're going to hear about how small your boobs are. Okay, I'm done talking about it. I just entered the chat. I am confused. Why are you dressed as a man? Well, I did a little skit at the beginning, if you're still here, Katie, where I was acting like a red pilled man. Be right back. Got a measuring tape, Mr. Carey. The only enemy for women is women, right? Mustafa, I think um the way I look at it, it's like a what's really going on right now, us versus them, isn't men versus women or women versus women. It is like the elites, oligarchs ruling over all of us, destroying all of our lives. That's who is like, but I know where you're coming from. Like women are horrible to each other. No, I always say that when it comes to misogyny, like women hate other women and themselves. And that when you think about like how that is almost more fucked up than the opposite gender who's been socialized to think, it's bad to hit like a girl. You can't cry like a girl. Like everything that's feminine is bad. Oh, dressing like a girl. Oh no, you can't be wearing a dress as a man. That's funny. Wearing a suit as a woman, that's hot. That's, sophisticated. That's high fashion. Like that it's I don't blame men as much. That when you're a woman and you hate yourself and other women, that's a different kind of like deep-seated evil, and it's sad. We're corrupted. People talking in caps about inches, legit internet stuff happened. LOL, my shoe is 13, Acid Burn said. Yeah, somebody said before it's like shorter guy. I know that doesn't necessarily play into shoe size so much, but it is like, um, yeah, I don't know how true that stuff is. Why you dress like a mechanic? Well, I was trying to dress like a red-pilled man, which I just grabbed one of my husband's old shirts and, before I was married, I've been around the block a lot more than I care to share. I'm glad I didn't get an STD. Thank you, Lord. Right, Mr. Carey? You were blessed that nothing permanent happened as a result of that. I don't know if you know about the STD rates now, but it's scary. Well, shit, I guess I'm blessed. I'm almost near. Oh my God, girth, bro. That sounds scary. Okay, that was a complete joke. I hope everybody I really hope that nobody took me seriously when I said that because there is such a thing as too big. And adult media, I think, has painted like way too many it's just it's not natural, first of all, to be watching as a straight man to watch another man penetrate a woman. Like that's just weird to me when you really think about how much of people's lives are spent doing that. Or a few decades ago, like how much of their lives are spent doing that. And I think that that's part of the problem. And it really like women genuinely. don't care about that, like, genuinely, and women don't sit around talking about that, like, I mean that with all my heart, they really don't. I do think that if we had the organs that penetrated men, and, like, things were the way that they are, men would sit around and talk about how big their girlfriend's dick was. Okay, this is getting really weird. Honestly, I don't know how some people don't get more STDs, right, Diamond? And it's like, I don't understand how more people don't wreck the way people drive. It's a miracle that there aren't more people, in car wrecks every day. I tried pouring water with Miracle Grow. It doesn't work, y'all. Mr. Carey said, joking only. LOL, I'm still in love, acid burn. Diamond, honestly, though the other guy I was with is swung to the left, I called him Lefty. LOL. It felt the same as my ex's tangent. Diamond, you are a hoot. Thank you, Katie. Mr. Carey, they got shorts where they pour water in a vehicle and it grows, and a woman throws water in a man's area, hoping it grows. Oh my God. See, that's so goofy. I guarantee you a man wrote that script. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying. I think men concentrate on it more. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, um, maybe that's like part of acceptance and like nobody's gonna be perfect. You're gonna fall in love with somebody. There's gonna be things about them. Like, I don't wanna say you wish you I just think that I've said this before. I think men, they are really accepting of women's bodies. When they love a woman and they're a good man, they are very, very accepting of us. So I don't mean to make it sound like all men are like that. I think the man is more likely to love on the bodies more woman's body more than the woman herself, which is sad. But this one time at band camp, LOL, just kidding. This one time I had this pop camp and I was messing around with you couldn't do that. It was a legit pop camp. Oh, Diamond, this feels like a real night out. I mean, I'm laughing at that, but that is like there is such thing as too big. There really is. And it might seem fun if and then you're like, oh my like get this over with or something like it's not it what I got told, "Oh, no," in school a few times. Oh, okay. Um, do I need to pick my nose? Everybody picks their nose, Brad. I mean, what kind of question is that? Sounds like if mine did that I would need to go to the ER. He would bite me too, even though we tried kissing and felt like he was a vampire. Couldn't do that. Wasn't into it. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Mr. Care said biting hurts. That's weird. Acid burn. I don't want to sound like a pervert, but if a girl is over 20 years old and she has a B cup or smaller, that's perfect. Thanks, acid burn. I just think that um one of my favorite ads of all time was like a Dove soap ad where it was like women 160 pounds, I think. It was like or excuse me, it might have been 180, and it was, like, showing women at different heights, all different body shapes, that we're all the same weight, and it's just amazing how different our bodies can be. Like, I don't feel like I mean, men's bodies can differ, but, I don't think you'd see that variation in men's bodies, and that's, like, part of what makes women, the variation, diversity brings with it nothing but good. Oh, acid burn, thank you so much. I wanna make sure I didn't miss any comments. I am getting ready to go, guys. I don't wanna sound you already said I just said what I said about circumcision earlier because it's done for health reasons, not just for a look. Oh, Katie, I didn't see that. Right, but if you look into it, the lower it's like 1 to 3% lower infection rate, and I don't mean to make anybody feel bad that's ever, already made a decision, but, we don't cut off our foreskin for the same we probably have a lower infection rate too, you know what I mean? Yeah, they do it a lot differently now. It isn't as drastic. I think the medical profession knew what they were doing and they decided to stop, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. They don't do it like they used to do. Since I'm half black, I only got half of the length, and it makes it more sensitive. Yeah, okay, it does. That's part of it. Diamond said, "Yeah, I'm too truthful." We all yeah, that's and that's funny. Okay, so, like, what Diamond was just saying, could you imagine, like, women that have slept with just 2 people, a few people, like Oh, the way that women if women talked about men's bodies, it like, the way that men talked about women's, and like I said, like, yeah, when you tell each other stories, but I've never had a woman friend, female friend be like, "Oh, only if he's this big," you know what I mean? Like, if anything, if, like, big ones get brought up, it's like, "Oh my gosh, it's too much." But anyways, I think it's best to keep that ideally, it would be, like, so sacred that we don't talk about it, but we do talk about it, and I'm glad that we can be open with each other as friends here. Everybody's allowed to say anything they want, as long as you're not, being super mean and disrespectful. It's a fact of life. Some guys are like a freaking Coke can, what can you do? As I'm sitting here with this Hydro Flask in my mouth. Where in America are you from? I asked that to another channel last night and they got super offended as they were Canadian. And I'm in Kentucky. Thank you so much, Acid Burn. Thank you again. Hell no, nobody is cutting my soldier. Women are more conscious of their bodies because of other women. Okay, Grower said. Um, I think women put a lot of pressure on other women. Yes. Yes. I mean it. Like the way I never thought I would say this to you guys. I'm just gonna be real. I couldn't get in a group of other women without them bringing up their cup sizes. And the only way I can make sense of this is there's a petite quarter Colombian chick that they all think is kind of pretty that entered the chat, and they have to somehow tear her down. I'm sorry. I only say that because I feel comfortable enough with you guys to say that. That's how it would every single I don't care how Christian the co-op was when it came to homeschooling, boobs are gonna get brought up. It's so crazy. I don't think any group of men that gets together talks about the size of their penises. You know what I mean? Or even their biceps, like what is visible. So that's like why I bring it up a lot. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it's like theme of my life. And only recently, I mean it, like in the last 2 years, have I been able to be like, you know what? My body's awesome. I love my body. It's functioning. I've been through a lot. I love my body, and they want us to hate our bodies. This whole system, it's not like women designed this flawed system, but they want us to perpetuate it because they know it's going to bring people down, make more of us pharma customers because we're going to be like depressed and depleted. That's part of it. I have stretch marks from my nipples to my almost my ankles. I have stretch marks all down my legs. I gained so much weight with my first pregnancy. I gained like 80 pounds. And that was just in like 4 months. And my legs got so much bigger. I've stretched all down the back of my legs, look like white, like tiger streaks, like going, not vertically, horizontally. That took me so like, for most of my 20s, I didn't wear pants. I mean, I'm sorry, I wore pants. I wouldn't wear shorts even in Florida. I would only wear long, skirts and pants, and now the older I get, I'm like, I don't care what anybody thinks about the stretch marks on my legs. I don't care what they think about when they see the stretch marks that go all the way up my hips, my love handles. They're not gonna see them on my boobs, but like, like I really like I've lost friends at the age of 30, 34. Just to have a body that's still here is a gift, And if more people walked around thinking that, the whole world would be different and better. Keith, you miss out on a lot of great conversations when you get people angry. I don't know what you mean by that, Keith. I hope you didn't. Let's enjoy our strengths and avoid making our leaps more difficult. I hope you're not saying that I'm making people angry, because I hope that for every person I might make angry, I make like two or three more happy and feel vindicated and relieved that like we're all in this crazy world where there's so many people that sit around and talk about how like men literally do everything and while women give birth every day. I've been with both uncircumcised and the other. They are the same feeling. Yeah, I don't. You're completely fine, Diamond. There's a bunch I want to say, but as a married woman, it's like I don't feel appropriate, but you're fine. Keith, I just ask great questions to figure it out mostly. Yeah. Okay, some women are just full of crap. Yeah. There's that one man who put 5 women in the hospital around here because he was the size of an arm. Oh, that sounds horrible. And blokes don't talk about cock size with mates either. It's only an internet thing. Yeah, I can understand that. Yes, it was just like a cocaine. Well, I've heard things about women's labias where like some of women get cosmetic surgery to get their labias. I don't wonder how big could it be? And I understand there probably are certain situations where it's like uncomfortable physically, and I'm not trying to make fun, but I just know that a lot of these women that feel like they're too big or like what, like you're just being what? Like once again, it's like the the adult media putting things into our head. Interesting, Diamond. As a male, I don't know how the cut ones don't get bothered or outright hurt being bareheaded. I figure it's less sensitive to be on a straight shooter. Yeah, straight shooter. Apparently, like they don't realize how much sensitivity they've lost. But you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it just makes me so sad. Once again, I don't want to make anybody feel, but like, what it's like, it's just like an example of how the medical system is for profit and nothing is one size fits all, absolutely nothing, except for maybe what the antibiotic dose you give somebody when they have MRSA or something. Yeah, I have a painted mustache. Well, it's this thing called a body crown from Spirit Halloween. It's so crappy. Look at that. Okay, guys, there I go. I know. Okay, it's a problem. I admit it. I'm Lydia. I have a problem. I like to say I'm going on my live streams and then I hang out for like a half an hour, and I know that's like a horrible thing to do. And I keep telling myself I'm going to like stop doing that. Men are honest about lovers. No reason to lie about it. Okay, said. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean like the number of lovers or what? I only offer healing strategies, Keith said. That's good. Women are so much more meaner to each other over their bodies than men. We're constantly judging each other. Yes. Yes. Women are vain, men aren't. Yeah, women like a man's worth is placed in what he can provide, and a woman's worth is just like what she looks like. And it's sad, it shouldn't be that way, and I think it's a lot of pressure to put on men too. I've just realized you're the Kentucky girl I was watching a few days ago. Told you about Kentucky Famous Chicken and Kansas Fried Chicken in the UK. Didn't recognize you with the muzzle. Yes, Ed Smith. That was so funny. Thank you so much for telling me about Kansas Fried Chicken. That is just the funniest thing to me. Kansas Fried Chicken. Not since high school for shits and giggles. Mine could be used as a straight shooter. Fendi, no, men don't do that in a group. That'd be sus. I think it hurts a man more if he's not been cut. Yeah, it's weird. It's like they lose sensitivity, but at the same time, they're more sensitive because I don't want to get into it that much. Lucky, I'm confused. Is it costume night, girl? Yes, John Henry. I am a red pilled man. I already did my rant the first 10 minutes. I don't know. It's probably things you've heard me say before, but basically, the next 6 nights, I'm gonna have costumes, and I'm trying to, like, put them in from, least good to best, so this was, like, really more of a fun joke. It's very true, Diamond. I joined a women's motorcycle group, and we are intentional about only uplifting one another, no bullying. That's nice, Katie. That's good that they made it a point to yeah, nothing, no passive aggressive remarks. "Oh, couldn't be me." Well, my ex was vain. He was always looking at the mirror, fixing his hair, got all over my nerves. Right. That is a generalization. I think women tend to be more vain, but there's definitely vain men for sure. And that is such a turn off to a lot of women because you're not used to it. But I think it's something that's happening more. A demonstration for the content tonight. I don't know what you mean, Keith. I'm getting ready to go. Oh, John Henry, I'm getting ready to go. We don't have to talk about the size. The girls tell all the other girls. Oh, see, maybe that was your experience, acid burn, that wasn't mine. But I'm not trying to discredit your be dismissive of anything you went through. I think that's awful. Like, you can't help it with boobs, you can see, you know what I mean? It's just out there, so I understand there's that aspect, like, it's just visible more so. But, it's just interesting to me the way you're made to feel as a woman, and, I know some women do it, but it's not quite the same. Diamond, he was probably gay. Okay, in general communication, Keith said. I always thought he would accuse him of it all the time. I think it's because he was so spoiled, and I think it was because his thing came up short. LOL. Oh, acid burn. He's gay. No, he can't please a woman. Won't hurt a butthole. Oh my God. Women are much more meaner though than men. Old women are the worst. Oh gosh. Women, it's like we made up for what we can't do with brute strength with like psychological force, right? Like they are mean. I said this before, Diamond, like the older people that it made me feel the most seen as a woman, it was always an old man. Whenever I had like 2 little kids, juggling a bunch of shit, it was always an old man that was like, "Oh, a mother's work is never done." And like saying nice stuff to like be encouraging, barely ever old women. It did happen, but I'm saying like 8 out of 10 times it was a man. What drives me crazy back when I was dating and single is when men and send unsolicited duck pics. Why? I should have started an album on at Facebook. I know, Kate. It's so funny. They don't understand. We're not wired like you. Like it's like scary. I don't care what it looks like. It's unnerving and frightening. I bring her up every life too, refashion hippie. She has this series called Unsolicited Duck Pics, and it's people sending her funny pictures of ducks. And it really, and there was this one where it was a man laying down, and the duck's head was like right on his crotch. It was, you know what I mean? Not on it. The way it was positioned was like the duck was sticking up right where his would have been. Most of them aren't quite like that, but they're so freaking funny. Oh, that was a draw on. I thought it was one of the fake ones you stick on. No, Fendi, yeah. Men are not as mean to me now without breasts like women are. Diamond, also, I can't believe any woman would say anything to a woman who's gotten a mistake. Like we should be empathizing with you the most after surgeries like that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think once a man matures, like once a man, like I've said this before, like good men, which I mean a mature man, right? Mature, emotionally unavailable, stable men. They are so good. I think they are better than good. Okay, see, there I go making it a competition. It's just like for how horrible a few men can be committing over 90% of the violent crime. The good men that are good really are the glue that hold all this shit together. So I totally understand why people say men are infrastructure and we need them so bad. Um, but if those same people could realize how bad we need women and the work that women do, oh my gosh, like everybody would be happier. I already read that. I agree. Men go out of our way to be nice to women. Okay, said. Right, because you're socialized like you have to, and we're socialized. You don't need no man, and like, so I totally get it. We ignore other men. Okay, said. For real, Katie, like to see similarities, straight shooter said. I know it's a personality thing, but I can't stand super loud men. Yeah, Diamond, mustache. Gary, I'm surprised you're up late. I'm glad. I know I keep saying I'm gonna go. The loudest isn't always the strongest, Diamond said. Definitely. I don't like metrosexual sexual men. I like a man's man, if you know what I mean. No, I was gonna say that earlier, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to say when you brought up how he like if a man like looks better than me or spends more time on himself than me, that's a huge turnoff. You know what I mean? I don't want a man that's like prettier than me. Oh, Gary, thank you. That's so sweet. Do you think Marshall Matt I don't know who that is, straight shooter. Gunsmoke is an old show I never watched. Okay, thank you. I was trying to get me and my sister. I know it sounds goofy, but one day I'll get it and you guys will understand. Me and my sister laughing together is great. And it's like I'm gonna have to like record her when she doesn't know and then ask her permission to use her audio. Because I know if I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to record our us laughing together now," she's gonna be like, "No." But women can be more kind and understanding. Exactly, Gary. Okay. See, the dichotomy is you're right. Like women tend to be more empathetic, and that's that emotion that makes us like lean towards being more to the left. Not all women, but it's like that more emotional, apathetic, like empathetic, I mean, not apathetic. It's because the times we are living in, people assume I'm, "Oh, diamond, Trans. I see what you mean." Yeah, I've had plenty of people because my nose isn't super tiny, because I don't have a little Cindy Lou Who nose. Not that everybody with a tiny nose has a little piglet nose, but I'm just saying, like, because, yeah, a lot of girls that do get the nose jobs, I'm sorry, like, Blair Walnut, I've been following her since well before her plastic surgery. I love Blair Walnut. She is great. Excuse me, and good she's a beautiful Hungarian woman, so beautiful. She didn't need anything done. She looks the same, just faker. And I feel so mean saying that. I say that because I don't think she's ever gonna see this. She's got this going on. Her nose was fine, and now it's just like it's just so fake, and you can tell it's not her nose, and it just kills me. It kills me. Okay, I'm gonna be mean for a second. And her lips are like lopsided from getting lip filler, and it makes me so mad because she was such a natural beauty, and it's like she's all about encouraging women to do whatever makes them feel better. It's like, oh no. Like people are injecting themselves with Botox at home. There's this company that's sending like it's 10% or less of the cost of getting it from somebody and like, oh, that is so scary to think about. I wouldn't want to give myself like insulin at home. I know people have to do that, and I would if I had to, I bet, but that would be scary enough. Did you wear a sports bra? No, okay, I just wore my regular bra and like a tight tank top under. I don't need a binder. But yeah, it's like so much importance is placed on a woman's chest, like the way we were socialized. Oh my gosh, the way we grew up. So I really empathize with you, Diamond. 102 girls I've been with, and the other 10 girls I dated was still great acid burn. That's crazy. If you're telling the truth, I was taught to respect girls and women, Gary said. Well, that's nice. You had a good mom. Was your dad around the way you made it sound? You said your mom raised three kids, right, Gary? Kentucky lady, until next time we cross paths, peace and love from Liverpool, England. Oh, Ed, I hope you're still, if you're still in here, I hope you sleep well, or whatever you're getting ready to do. I hope you have a great night. And you take care of yourself. Love you. Maybe I'm the odd one out, and just so beauty pic calls to me more than a zoned frontal. Yeah, I don't want a pretty man, Diamond said. 102, man, I had those numbers in high school. Stop counting in college. Just kidding. Oki said, yeah, it's just like, oh my gosh. It's I automatically go to the STDs and like they did talk about HPV, but don't tell me it's not like more of a problem. I love women so much, acid burns. And I do like men in all different body types. I don't like skinny men. I want the man's body to be bigger than me and him taller than me. Yeah, I think that a lot of women, like, it's not so much about, like, height, but, like, how broad their shoulders are. I had a girlfriend that wanted to make love in the rain, so we went out in my backyard, and my cattle came and started chewing their cud watching it. That sounds precious. Acid burn. Katie, blue collar middle class man who can fix stuff, cars, house, etc., is a better value to women for a lifetime than a rich man. Discuss. Katie, you are so right. No, totally. Totally. Especially in the times we're in right now when shit really hits the fan like it already is and is going to continue to do. We will need the more resourceful people. And of course, men that are high earners, like lawyers, doctors, they're resourceful, but it's really like there's a lot of men around here that have like multiple streams of like a lot of they're like jacks of all trade, they've got their hands on a lot of things, and it's like that that is incredibly sexy. And like my husband has taught himself a lot thanks to YouTube. YouTube has caused so much sex appeal for people in relationships, I guarantee it. Like had to redo a seal around our toilet in our first house, and he had like taken the toilet completely off like moved the toilet. I was like, oh my God, that is so. I have big bones anyway, so finding my type is hard to come by, but I do get along better with men who are younger or older than me the most time I'm not looking. I don't want a man just gabbing, Diamond said. Yeah, it's good to put it out there and then like release it. There was this woman, she wrote down lottery numbers. slept on them under a pillow and like thought about it a lot for a few days. And then she threw the piece of paper away and she said she didn't think about it. And that's like part of the law of attraction is like you don't sit there and think it, you thank the universe and then you don't think about it, you know? And then she won the lottery using those numbers. And she's actually one of the more successful people who started a recording studio and was like really successful with her earnings. Uh you never in my day, if a girl hit me, I just took it and didn't tell anybody. Oh, Gary, but see, that makes me sad, Gary, because I think that's just as wrong, you know. And we're not going to have true egalitarianism until it's like no matter who you are, you don't touch somebody in a moment of anger. Period. Even if you're the smaller woman who can't cause any physical harm, it's just it's a matter of respect and, just as women were abused more back then, you know, like, it makes me sad that it was like, okay, no, okay, I would love to have a man have human respect for me and think about me like I would him, Diamond said. Right. Okay. So I really appreciate you guys talking. I need to get going, especially since I'm going to be doing this like 5 more or 6 more nights in a row. But like, I really appreciate you opening up, Diamond, and all of you guys that opened up. I think it's an honor. I'm not just saying that. It really is an honor to be with you guys and to hear your stories. And that's part of why I put what I want to out there so I can hear from you. And that makes me happy. And the whole point is like we do need each other so much. And that's why this is so silly. We do need the hardworking men. Absolutely. I don't think many people ever tried to negate that. I really don't. I don't think there was ever that many people. And the people that were out there saying we don't need men, they've lived very little life. And they just probably had a father that failed them too, let's be real. Lucky I love you, girl, even with the mustache digging the threads, and look, wait till you see the next few nights. Seriously, it's just gonna get better. What scares me is political divide in this country. I agree with you, Gary. I know that pain diamonds feels bad. Oh, straight shooter. Katie, I went through stage 4 head and neck cancer, age 40 in 2014, had 50-50 chance and beat it. 80% of all sexually active people have had HPV at some point and they don't test men. Katie, I know there's no way to test men because when I was going through it, I'm so sorry to hear that, Katie. I don't know if you know about my story, but I worry about that. I don't ever want to say that on my channel, but I had to get my, cervix removed. I got my uterus and fallopian tubes too because of high risk HPV that kept coming back. It was CIN3 three times. If you don't know what that is as bad as it gets before it's official cervical cancer. And so, of course, I think, I have them shine the light in my throat at the dentist. You know what I'm talking about, Katie? That's like all you can do to monitor for HPV related cancer in your mouth and throat. And I do worry about that. Every doctor I ever asked, like, should me and my husband have wear protection? Like, what aren't we just passing this back and forth? Like, what should we do? They have nothing to say about such a, nothing to say. But I love you too, John Henry. I've just read that. I'm so bad about that tonight. Maybe you should broaden your criteria. Men expect a woman to bring more than cutlery to the table. Um, if you're talking to Diamond, she does bring a lot to the table. I hope you're not talking to Diamond. Straight shooter. And I hit the hey, good night. Good night, straight shooter. I hope you sleep well. Good night. Love you. It's very narcissistic when a man walks in front of you or behind you, not side by side, like they're ashamed of you. My ex done that to me even when I had breasts. Oh, good night. Thanks for the stream. Oh, good night to you too, Diamond. Yeah, there's you just brought a lot to mind. Awesome stream. Teamwork makes the man work. I solved the problem with the toilet, so you always have to put the back down, both of you. That's the way so neither of you can complain. Well, you just solved it all. No more problems between men and women. Acid burn and solved the toilet seat problem. Okay. Love you, Acid Burn. I love you, Mr. Carrot. I love you, Diamond. I love you, Oki. I love you, Straight Shooter. I love you, Katie. I love you, Gary. I love you, John. I love everybody so much. So whenever you think I'm like being too much, just remember that. Katie, I also have had a colposcopy. I had my cervix scraped and burned because of cellular changes due to HPV. We need to talk about it more. Keep that body count low, folks. Yes, Katie, completely. Yes, no few minutes of pleasure. And let's be real, some of it wasn't even pleasurable, was worth the colposcopies. I've had biopsies, colposcopies. I had a leap where they told me they were gonna burn a layer off. They ended up cutting out a chunk of flesh that was like a rolling die. No pain relief. Sent home to drive home an hour and a half right after. Absolutely torturous. Couldn't even pass gas without being in horrible pain. It felt worse down there than after birthing children. And then there's some, this won't hurt. My last procedure, Katie, I got cauterized a few weeks ago. This isn't supposed to hurt. Like every single thing those doctors tell me isn't going to hurt. It hurt. And then I went home and read, "It hurts." I'm tired of doctors telling us that things aren't gonna hurt. Okay, love you guys. I've had so many surgeries, I can't even count them. Diamond. I hope to see you guys soon. This was so much fun. I really hope to see a lot of you or all of you, I hope, tomorrow. Let's try to plan around 9 and not try to. It will be around 9. If you've ever had a leap done, those are painful. Yes, Diamond. That's what I'm saying. They say they're gonna burn a layer off, but he spent a long time cutting and he was using that vacuum to suck out the blood. What I'm gonna go through, you guys. I think it's the same vacuum they use during other procedures. Anyways, love you guys.